The vehicle.
I'm not in a vehicle. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I think something might be wrong with the audio. Look at that.
Audio? No. Can you hear me? No? Good?
Yeah. Damn, you're a lucky man. Look at you. You got
I'm
kids
a
all
lucky
over
man.
you and shit.
Kids all over.
Oh,
Lucky man.
something's jacked up though, Rich.
Okay. What is it?
Just the audio. It's crinkly.
What is it? Crinkly. All right. Hold on. Let me see. I'll get a different set of headphones. 2 seconds.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
a second, baby.
I'll interview your daughter. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, young lady. How are you? David Attaway. Oh, I'm early to the party. Sebby, don't go easy on Rich or Justin today. Always go easy. Always go easy on Rich. Always. I am kind of tripping that I have Alex and Justin on. I've never had both of them. I've never had a coach and an athlete on at the same time. Robbie Myers. Good morning, Sebby and Rich.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh,
all
that's
right.
nice.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Nice, not crinkly anymore.
Hey, dude, are you selling those tank tops yet on your site?
They're basketball jerseys. We got new ones. These are the 22 versions. The 23 versions are Dre did a cool job and made them look like the 90s Bulls uniforms. So they're those colors. But yeah.
And they're for sale on the website?
I think I just got the notification email. I saw them in the back. They'll be out. If they're not out right now, they're out soon. They're pretty cool. They're good summer wear.
You didn't sell those ones though, right?
Yeah, last year. These are the 22
you did?
ones. Yeah.
They're awesome. Do you live in those now?
Individual number on them. These jerseys? Yeah, I live in these jerseys. It's summertime.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How you doing?
I'm fucking great.
You good?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I want to go to. Where would I go? How do I go to the store?
MayhemNation.com. I think the store is on there.
Oh shoot! I ended up at Mayhem.
I know they were dropping all the games gear. They may have dropped it to like our Mayhem athletes first. That's what they'll do sometimes. Give everybody a chance to buy it before.
And when I type in Mayhem Nation, the first Google suggestion is apparel.
Oh, there you go.
So
Dre must have Google optimized it over Jake with programming.
There you go. Okay, bitchin'.
Those are t-shirts similar to it, and then we've got our athletes, any athletes that made it to the games can customize some jerseys, and people can buy those off them too. So help them make it to the games with some money.
Holy shit, this looks like a lot of work. Oh, that's cool. They get the money?
Yeah. Yep.
That's nice of you.
I never took that picture in that tie-dye shirt, by the way. I'm suing Dre for defamation of character.
That's a Photoshop?
Photoshop. Yeah, I'm pretty upset about it, actually. It's not my style, you
know. Coffee pods and wads. Fair question. We'll start with something very difficult. Can Rich compile his store so I can buy from Mayhem, Froning Farms, and Buffalo Brew in one shipment?
That would be easy, right? Yeah, we've talked about trying to figure out a way to do all that. Yeah, you would think since they're all technically, I mean, Buffalo Brew is owned by me completely, but then me and Matt and our wives own Froning Farms, and so that's the one, I guess, catchy one. But
we couldn't even figure out when I worked at CrossFit. We couldn't even figure out how when people register for the Open, they could also buy a shirt.
It blows my mind, right? The internet's a crazy thing. Maybe if we plugged it into Chat GPT, they'd tell us how.
Yeah, it's crazy. You fuck with Chat GPT?
Man, it's crazy, isn't it? I tell you,
I don't mess with it, but people send me stuff from it, and I'm just like, wow.
I had this weird dream. I'm in those presidential biographies, and I had a dream that I had to write a paper. I had a dream for some reason. I was still in college. I had to write a paper. And it was, I remember it vividly because when I woke up, I was like, I'm going to try it. Write a paper. It was a 7-paragraph essay on James Madison's opinions on federal government. And it had to have 2 sources, like 2 bibliographies. And so I just typed that into the prompt. 2 seconds later, spits out a 7-paragraph essay with a bibliography and all that. And I was just like, holy cow. I don't know why I thought of that in my dream, but I did.
How did you even know how to do that? Do you have a computer or you did that on your phone?
I went to the office when I was at the office. Ben likes to mess around with Chat GPT. I'm pretty sure if Chat GPT ever becomes self-aware, the first person that's going to kill is Ben Davidson. Because he was just sitting there trying to annoy it, basically, and you could tell it did not like what Ben was trying to ask it, just pestering it.
It's crazy. It's crazy biased. It's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy
it
biased.
is. It's funny that I've seen other ones that are like there's more liberal leaning AI systems, and then there's more conservative leaning AI systems, and I'm like, isn't the point of it for it to figure it out itself? But
right,
is what it is.
And that's what kind of shows that it's not artificial intelligence.
Exactly. There's something. It's being told something.
Yeah, so, like it has a favorite color.
Yeah. So maybe it developed a favorite color.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've watched Terminator too many times. I don't like AI. It scares me. Somebody said, and I don't know how true this is, that there's multiple podcasts where people have done say 100 podcasts, and then now that they've said so many different words, they can actually cut up and AI a whole podcast or whatever without even having to do a new podcast.
Yeah, there is AI Joe Rogan.
That's insane.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me. It's scary to me.
Podcast, yeah. Hey, there's a girl who made like $1 million in a month. She was she was like some OnlyFans girl that turned herself into an AI, and each person could be like she can
be whoever.
She could have like 1,000 boyfriends on.
This is a terrifying world we live in. This is not good. This is not good.
What's crazy though is all you have to do is put this down and it goes away.
It goes away. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. It's gone. You can live in real life. You look outside. There's trees blowing in the wind. It's pretty cool.
Trees. What are those?
Trees.
Manny Spiegel asked ChatGPT the advantages of being a white male, then work your way across the gender ethnicity spectrum. Very different responses. I know. I've done that. And like what drugs you should take and which you shouldn't. It's basically owned by it's owned by.
I was about to say. I feel like it's owned
by the
I'm sure
woke left.
I guarantee people. Yeah, you could sponsor it. From the back end. I'm guaranteed. Yeah. Now that I think about that, man, people are so smart. Why am I so dumb? I'm such a sheep.
Trevor Gentry, good morning, gentlemen. AI is the beginning of the end.
It is. I'm telling you.
Not for me.
Not for me. Until it gets a hold of those nuclear launch codes, then we're gone.
Oh, there was a movie like that. Do you remember that movie?
There's several movies like that. Terminator 1 through 8.
What was the one that
I Robot, Terminator, iRobot. What else?
War Game. Wasn't there one called War Games with like not Matthew McConaughey, but the guy from
Indiana Jones? Harrison Ford, wasn't it? No, that's Spy Games. No. I guarantee it.
What's the movie with the kid who he's old now, but he cut class and he went to a baseball game and he took
Ferris Bueller?
Ferris Bueller. That guy was in a movie I think called War Games.
Huh.
When I was a kid. God,
he was also adult Simba in Lion King. Matthew Broderick? No.
Oh,
Matthew Broderick?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
War Games, 1983.
All right.
A young man finds a backdoor into military general central computer in which reality is confused with game playing, possibly starting World War III.
There it is, And man, it's almost like Hollywood predicted that, or maybe they're behind it all. Maybe we're in the Truman Show.
Oh,
did you ever think that when you were like the Truman Show? Did you ever watch that?
Not did I ever think that? Do I ever still think that?
Still think that? You're like looking in the mirror. You're like, wait a minute. I may actually be living that. Actually, we're being 100% honest. Scott's just peeking around here with a camera.
What did I? The show is not off to this.
We derailed it.
I've already lost control of the show.
That's good.
I'm gonna talk about why I invited you on the show. What inspired me to like grow a set of balls and invite you.
Okay.
This.
This.
Oh, you probably can't see this because you're on your phone.
Secret Service. Yeah, no, I can see it.
Oh, you can. So, can you give me the juicy details of how this happened? Is this you in front of Air Force One?
That's a mock Air Force One. It is a training tool. Yeah, I've got a friend that's Secret Service. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name or not, but the whole secret thing and not secret thing throws me off.
Yeah.
But we went to the Secret Service Training Center. Oh man, it was awesome. We got to watch them. That first picture, we were at one of their shoot houses, watched some of their recruits for counter assault team, breach some doors, clear some rooms. It's kind of like SWAT for Secret Service. And it was awesome. It was cool. We got to do that. Then we got to go. That was just kind of a prop that they use or used to use for Air Force
Did you go
One.
in there? Did you go in
No,
there?
it's old and rickety and kind of like infested with wasps, they said. There's that. And then there's a Marine One replica there too that they can practice. Basically they just pull up and, where they're supposed to stand and how they're supposed to protect when they go to Air Force One. We got to see kind of their museum of all the guns that they've either confiscated over the years and do whatever. That was all at the Secret Service Training Center. Got to see the cars, like the motorcade cars. And
tell me about the cars. Is that car, or do they still use the same limo that all the presidents have used?
No. But they have multiple of the different generations. I think they're on like generation 5 or 6. And basically at this point, it's a Mack truck with a Cadillac over, like skin over it. It was cool. And then we got to drive with some of the guys that, drive the president around or just are driving cars around the president. And so that was a ton of fun. Got to go to one of their simulation. They have like a 300-degree video simulation with Glocks that have CO2 in them, so you can feel like what a gun actually feels like, but you're shooting against a screen, and they put you in all kind of different scenarios and like test, your reactions. And so they can do that with recruits and like just teach them different situations and scenarios, and they're controlling kind of behind you. Like it's real video of people, but they can control what the people, like which scenario comes at you.
So it's not with goggles on. You look to your right.
No, it's panels of video screen. And you have these the Glocks, and you're supposed to interact with the people. The scenario's already been filmed, so it's not like they're reacting technically in real time. But the person that's behind the controls has already like told it which scenario you're gonna see, and so it was cool.
And you got to do that. You had the gun. You stood in there, and they're like,
okay, me and exactly. Hey, they're like, hey, talk him down, like, and if he advances at you too fast, what decision are you going to make? And so in no way, shape.
What was your scenario?
Were you in there by yourself? No, usually you were with somebody else. One of our scenarios was
it Hillary? Hillary was in there with you?
Hillary wouldn't do it. Me and Matt were in there, and then Matt and his wife were in there. There was one that, there's like 8 doors, and people were just coming out of different doors, and you were supposed to like, analyze the threat, if they were a threat or if they were I guess to see if you were going to just shoot somebody that just walked right out. That was kind of the first one to warm us up. And then we did one where you had a drunk driver and you're supposedly in the cop car. They pull over, and as you pull over, they get out of the car, and then their spouse comes out of the house, and she's got a baseball bat, and she's yelling and he's yelling, and he ends up shooting. And it was not funny, but kind of funny. Matt's talking to the guy that was the driver, and the girlfriend or wife comes out with the baseball bat, and the guy goes to pull a gun on Matt. Matt shoots, and Kelly, his wife's in there with him, and she just reactionary shoots the girl with the baseball bat, like no threat whatsoever. It was just like complete just reaction. And so it was we were giving her crap about that, but I mean it's in that moment it's real for you, and so it's crazy to kind of just see how people react to that.
I have a pretty strong I always think this. If a cop's got a gun, right?
Yep.
And you pull anything on him,
if
you
do
any threat, I know people are going to hate this, but I think you should get shot. And here's why. Because if she hits the cop with the bat by any chance, or throws the bat and it hits him, then she can go over and take his gun.
The gun. Yep.
And now she's a threat to everyone else. So I think that like once you
show force.
Show force. Yeah. I'm just kind of like done with you. I'm like,
it was eye-opening because you're already high strung and you're just in a simulator. Right. If it's real life, it's even worse. So I mean, it was definitely eye-opening. I knew being a cop is already hard enough, but that made it even more. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is real. And so we did that the one day. That night we walked around a bunch of the monuments, went and saw, Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, Korean War Memorial, Vietnam Memorial, FDR Memorial, all those kind of at night, which was really cool. And then the next day, we went to the
FDR.
Capitol.
Let's not forget about him. Japanese internment camps gathered up the old Japanese people, took their property, and let's not also forget that FDR was kind enough to turn away Jews who were fleeing Europe from the Nazis and told them that they couldn't come through Ellis Island. Asshole.
But he started the New Deal.
What's that? The yeah. I am not. Oh, wow. Matt Souza in the house. Thank you, Matt. I've been Oh, we lost your audio, Rich. We lost Rich's audio. We lost your audio. I can't hear Rich. Can you hear Rich? No. Good. I can't hear you. Rich, I can't hear you. Son of a bitch. He's going to make me calm. Eye contact, Rich. Look at me. Look. He's figuring it out. I can't hear you. Let me call him. Jeez Louise. What a show. I wonder how many people have Rich in their favorites. Rich is the kind of person who doesn't answer his phone, even if you have his phone number.
How's that? There we go.
Oh, better. Okay.
I don't know why I did that.
New deal? So you said something about the New Deal. He did the New Deal?
He did the New Deal. No, I said after that, we went to the Capitol building the next day. And that was awesome. Just where I'm at in history and learning and reading all those books. It was cool to see, like, we got to go in the House, where the House meets, where it originally met, where the Senate met, where it then turned into the Supreme Court.
Oh my goodness! Holy shit, Rich! Oh, that's bad. I'm gonna have to mute Rich. Something happened again. Susan had to take his.
I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, now we're good.
I don't know why the headphones keep doing that. So,
hey, Rich, is this the Capitol building you're on right now?
Yeah, we're on top of the rotunda there at the Capitol building.
It's crazy.
And so, yeah, I mean, those Frederico and Josh were awesome, and they took us around, and man, it was a fun time. We were up on top, and they were there on January 6th, and he's got some pictures. It was crazy. One of the guys is a sniper, and it was a cool, like I said, I don't know if you guys heard me with my mic or my headphones, but they built the Capitol building, and then outgrew it, and instead of knocking it down, they just built on the outside of it. So it's like these kind of weird, like, rooms are kind of complex. It was cool. That was a cool spot just to see all that stuff and the history of it. And then they have a kind of a marker where they, I don't know if it's more ceremonial or what, but they think George Washington laid the cornerstone for the Capitol building. So.
And look at you're on the roof right there.
We're on the roof. And then later on, the rotunda up there, Hillary was like, "Oh, what are those doors up there?" He's like, "I don't know. Let's go see if we can get up there." Sure enough, we got up there. It was awesome.
You went in that dome.
Yes. Yeah, that was really cool.
What's the security like up there for you? They pat you down pretty good. They put their hand up Hillary's dress or anything? Like anything?
They didn't do that. No, I think we were pretty well cleared. You definitely had to coming in. They made sure everything was on the up and up. But after that, we were like I said, we were being escorted by Capitol Police, and they were.
They didn't bring out a special girl to feel those girls up to make sure they're not packing, like one for the dudes and one for the girls?
No, I guess they trusted them.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Talk about lack of security. Now we know how Jan 6 happened.
Yeah. It was crazy. He's got some pretty crazy pictures. He said, like I said, he was up there as a sniper, and he said it just kind of, it got. That's another thing I have strong feelings about. Like if you approach the Capitol building, I kind of and like our civil servants are in there. I kind of like. Yeah, you got to take that risk. You start breaking things. That's you're not supposed to. And that was the executive building next to the White House. We did a West Wing tour, and then got to go in the VP's office and hang out a little bit and see all that stuff. So executive building's insane too. It's well built, super solid structure. Kind of
so
old
Rich,
school.
This is all the same day?
That was the next day.
Okay. So you didn't have like a change of clothes with you and you change your clothes to did you meet with the senator or congressman?
No. Like I said, I've got a really good friend that's a Secret Service, and I've met a bunch of Secret Service officers throughout the years, and they've come to the barn and trained, and so it was really cool. Like I said, to get to go up there, it was just me, Matt, and Kelly, and kind of more laid back. It wasn't a real work trip. We were just tourists, so it was cool.
Hillary took this picture?
I bet Hillary probably took that picture.
She's a good photographer. She take all these?
Hillary's an incredible photographer. She just doesn't ever do it. Yeah, she probably took all those. If they're on hers, she probably took them. I definitely am not the photographer in the group.
Did you ask to go do this? Is this part of your is this part of your whole prepping to run for office here in a few years? reading Federalist Papers, reading books, biographies, going to visit the Capitol?
No, absolutely not. I like I said, I've got this good friend. He's from here. He's about to retire in a couple of years, and he's been begging us to come up there. And then Matt and Kelly just talked about going on a trip, and I'm like, hey, I've got these connections. Let's see if this actually works. And sure enough, man, we got the full tour. Got to do that. And then on the last day, like I said, we went to the White House, the executive building, and then we went to the American History Museum. That was really cool. Got to see the flag that was flown, that the Star Spangled Banner was written for, and it was cool.
You went to the White House too, huh?
Yeah, we went to the West Wing. We saw Uncle Joe there. He was walking through the Rose Garden.
No shit.
Yeah, we were probably not supposed to be where we were because everybody started kind of moving. And like I said, my buddy, he's like, we'll just stand right here, just stand right here. Something might happen. And sure enough, you see him kind of meander through the Rose Garden.
Solo?
Yeah, by himself. Well, I mean, there were agents kind of at different areas while he was moving. So I think they said Dr. Jill was at the pool.
There's a pool at the White House?
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Yeah, there's a pool at the White House. Apparently, there's a bowling alley downstairs.
White House pool. Oh, shit.
Yeah, there was where the press meets. There used to be a recovery or a rehab pool there where your boy FDR would do his rehab stuff.
Oh yeah. I forgot about his little mishap.
Yeah, the South Lawn is pretty nice. I mean, it's obviously that's where they do all their events and stuff. We just missed. Did you see where they had the trans influencer topless on the White House lawn? You're just like,
yeah, we featured that on this show.
Come on.
That's what happens on this show when you're not here.
When I'm not here?
Yeah, we feature things like that. Josh Lehrman, Rich is on, so you know the deal. Yeah, Rain's money.
Josh.
Thank you. Yeah,
thanks, Josh.
God, you're a good dude. This dude has a farm about 130 miles south of me.
Oh, really? What kind?
Yeah, like cherries and
oh, cool.
And fruits and stuff. And he invited my family and I to come down there and watch the harvest. I need to actually go down there and do that. I wonder if I missed that window.
That would be cool. Cherries? We used to have some cherry trees. I'm trying to remember what time of year. It was about this time.
It's now. I have cherry trees. They're full. Okay. They're full.
Yeah, about this time, you're supposed to start getting rid of or harvesting.
Eric, with a poignant question, was Joe lost? Did he appear to be lost when you saw him?
No comment. It was not. It was not what you would expect the leader of the free country to be moving like. It was.
Oh man.
It was pretty eye-opening. Yeah.
Have you seen these videos, Rich, of Robert Kennedy doing push-ups? Robert F. Kennedy, all juiced to the gills. Have you heard about it?
No, I need to watch it. No,
dude, have you seen these, Sousa? He is definitely on the sauce.
Sousa in the background. Hey, Sousa.
Yes, Sousa's back here. Look at
you. You got him hidden, right?
I'm on timeout. No political questions for me.
There's someone posted something I saw this morning on Instagram. He has his shirt off. He is juiced to the gills.
TRT.
It's fine. TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. He's medicated.
Oh, okay.
And I think you'd be proud. It's pretty, and the comments are all positive. It's got the thing I saw. It's like 9,000 comments, and it's like, hey, this is the first time I'm going to vote Democrat.
Awesome.
Shit like that.
They said he, I think he requested Secret Service protection already, which it's weird. Like I was asking basically how they determine all that stuff, and it's almost case by case. And I think he wanted it because of his family's past, obviously, rightfully so, I guess. But
his daddy got popped, right? His dad was the attorney general.
Dad and his uncle, right?
Yeah, and his uncle was the president.
Yeah, so I mean,
isn't it kind of weird? He wants the guys who killed his family to protect him now. So they say.
So they say. Have you ever read
No.
Killing Kennedy by Bill O'Reilly?
Good.
That's a pretty good book. I mean, those books are the ones that kind of set me on this presidential biography thing that I'm on.
Hey, are you an Audible guy? Or are you listening on Apple?
On Apple. So
Me too.
everybody's like, you should have got Audible. You should have. And I'm like, I should have. You're right. But now the fact that I've got all these books on Apple, I'm like, I'm just going to kind of stick on Apple,
Yeah, I'm Apple too. I don't do Audible. I'm Apple too.
Yeah. Where I've been doing all this biking, I just kind of put the headphones in and crank for an hour or two, depending on the day. And I've burned through, like I said, I'm to James Monroe right now.
Oh, in 1.25 speed or regular speed or
1.5. 1.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I've noticed I retain it better, and I'm just, instead of like one time I was like, let me go back to one and just see what it sounds like, and I thought I was gonna lose my mind. It literally sounds like slow motion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good question, Audrey. Rich, do you have a garden?
We don't have a garden. I got too many. Like a couple of years we've talked about having a garden, and we tried it. And my chore as a child was to weed, the flower beds or the garden when we had gardens, and I absolutely disdain doing that. And so that's the one thing that prevents me from doing a garden.
Fair.
The one thing. I don't want
the weeds suck.
I've heard that like if you do those raised gardens and stuff like that, it's better. But I also my kids would somehow ruin it. Like we'd do all the work and then I'd walk out, and he tries just like a rabbit anyway. So he eats vegetables left and right. So somehow we wouldn't even be able to, he'd gnaw on the leaves before they even became vegetables.
Hey, when he came out, he was eating a cucumber, and that's the go-to snack. With those Persian cucumbers, that's like the go-to snack for my kids. Persian cucumbers.
He loves some cucumber, any real vegetable. Pickles are. Did we have this conversation? It is a vegetable, but no, it's a fruit. Cucumbers are fruit.
Really?
Did you know that? Yeah.
No.
They have seeds.
Because seeds. Okay. I'll
it's
take
a vegetable. That. It's still a vegetable.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, those kids they'll eat anything, and so they love some vegetables. But our neighbor lives at the end of the driveway, and they work at Laura works at Mayhem with us. They have kind of a raised garden, and then they have some chickens and stuff. So the kids go over there. They have kids that are the same age as our kids.
You don't have chickens? You don't have chickens?
I told Hillary no more species of animals around here until we get everything kind of under control. It's been crazy. We've got.
I'm assuming your family eats a shitload of eggs. I'm assuming you guys go through a dozen eggs a day.
We go through a lot of eggs and a lot of chicken. I mean, we eat a lot of chicken too. So,
what about the Liver King says that you shouldn't eat chickens or pussies, so you shouldn't eat chickens. You should stick to like the bigger animals.
That was I thought it was Jim Harbaugh, right?
I don't know, but I've heard the Liver King say that too. Chickens or
Jim
pussies.
I think Jim Harbaugh told his recruits or something that they shouldn't eat chicken because they're a skittish animal, and he doesn't want his players to be skittish.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wasn't Jim Harbaugh? He was a quarterback like in the 70s, right?
I think he was like 80s or 90s. He's a football coach now for the Michigan Wolverines.
I would have guessed he's dead. Hey, I tried. I last week I had scheduled you and Tyson Bagent to be on.
I know. I heard about it after. They were like, "Hey, you were supposed to be on this morning." I said, "Yeah, I know. We had a little sickness, everything go through the house, couldn't make it." And they were like, "They had Tyson on there," and I was like, "Well, so funny story."
I was kind of like trying to do the dating game, right? Have like your shows like cross.
One of my the people that we went up there to hang out with that are Secret Service, Travis. They used to go to Travis's gym.
Oh shit!
And they know Tyson, and they were raving about how just a good kid he is. Solid. I mean, and that was off the record. They were like, he's awesome. And so I hated that I missed that. So
we'll do it.
You give him my number anytime if he was ever passing through or something, wants to hang out, let me know.
Cool, absolutely. Thank you, Rich. Okay, on to more serious topics. Enough foreplay. Are you down to 180? Are you biking 50 miles a day? And are you getting weak?
I'm not 180. I am getting weak. I'm like 190.
I heard you say 180. I heard you say 182 on your podcast, and so I just rounded down. I've been spreading rumors saying you're 180. Oh, bye, Rich. He didn't like that. He didn't like that.
I was
He
right.
didn't
about
like
the
that. He's
shit.
like, fuck you. Fuck you. and
See
your
what happened?
rumors. He's out of here.
Oh,
All right.
are
Is he
you
back?
frozen?
No, there he is. Okay, I apologize. You
What's
don't have to
happening?
hang
Man,
up like
don't talk
that.
to me
I
like
won't tell
that.
people
Don't
you're
talk to me.
180 anymore. Fine. Fine.
I don't know
tell
what
them.
happened there. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, I'm not 180. I'm pretty sure the day that I weighed myself, I was like 182 or 84. I think I was very dehydrated at that time, riding all those miles. But I'm 190 consistently, which is pretty low. I'm riding most days at least an hour, and then 2 or 3 days a week I'm around 2 or 3 hours. And so yeah, I started watching the documentary Race Across the Sky, where Lance Armstrong does the race that I'm going to do. And man, I was like, I want to get out there and be overly prepared versus get out there and be underprepared. So you know how I am. If I'm going to do anything, it's going to be to the excess. And so I've been riding a lot, but I'm enjoying it. It's been fun. It's been a different challenge and a different, I don't know, just something different. You know, I've been doing what we've been doing and I'm still doing CrossFit, doing one CrossFit session a day. But you know, kind of the second session that I would have been doing or have been doing for years is usually a bike.
And is it 50 miles a day?
Not a day. I did do a 50 miler the other day. Usually, you know, so trail is a little bit different. So if I'm on mostly trail, I'm averaging probably 11, 12 miles an hour. So that's usually, if I'm doing that hour ride, that's where I'm at. And then I'll do a kind of like a mixed kind of hybrid. I mean, you know where my dad lives, so I'll ride around here for an hour or so, and then I'll climb the whole mountain just to get ready for those climbs at Leadville. I just, like I said, I want to be overly prepared versus getting out there and being like, oh, I'm in over my head.
Sir Moose, Rich, next time you're in the Metro DC area, we'd be honored to have you drop in at
Black
Widow CrossFit in Sterling.
That'd be great. Yeah, you know, it's hard when you're on a couple's trip or a family or like, you know,
Oh, I see what this guy did here. He's making you feel bad. He's probably a Mayhem Gym. He saw you in DC, and now he's just kind of putting the screw to
you. The downstairs gym had like a rack, not a rack, but you know, like a crossover machine, but it had a pull-up bar and some kettlebells and stuff. So one day I just walked downstairs, hit the treadmill, and hit Murph. I was like, all right, here we go, strict Murph, and just did Murph. Took 30 minutes and went back upstairs. So I was like,
hey,
all right,
did you wing that? Were you just down? Did you know you were gonna do Murph before you went down there? You went down
no,
there.
I
and
walked downstairs. I walked
Murph.
in. I was like, hey, Murph's perfect. You know, that first mile, slowly ease into it, kick it up, start kicking the treadmill up as you go, and then basically 20 rounds of strict Cindy, and then get back on the runner. And I mean, heart rate gets up. You get some strict pull-ups, you get push-ups and squats. What else do you need? So that's what I've been doing a lot when I travel, and I'm not necessarily crunched for time, but I don't want to think about anything. I'm like, all right, got to pull up bar. Let's just do Murph. So I've done it probably 4 or 5 times in the last couple months.
Hey, he probably needed. Did you call a mop in there to clean that place up?
I felt bad. I'm like, oh man, I just
up.
like grabbed like 8 different wipes, and I'm like trying to sop up all the sweat because I mean, you know how much I sweat. You remember from the marathon row, you know? Like,
yeah.
Look, you're like, did you pee? No, I didn't pee. I just sweat that much.
It literally looked like you'd peed under your rower.
I'm the grossest person there is when it comes to sweating.
Sevi, how old were you when you first met Rich?
12 years ago? 13 years ago?
What? 10? Must have been 2010, right?
Yeah, it would have been 2010.
So, what was that, 14 or 15 years ago? And I'm 51. So 35 or 36? 30, yeah.
About the same age I am now.
I had heard about him before, though. He was at a sectional or something somewhere on the East Coast. I want to say like Virginia Beach or something. And Dave called me from there.
We went to Jacksonville. Yeah, Jacksonville was semifinals.
Okay, and I remember Dave called me and goes, "Hey, dude, there's a dude here who's gonna win the games." And he didn't say that shit lightly back then, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And that was you.
Oh shit! And then I didn't.
Andrew Hiller, wow, 180. I used to look up to Froning.
I know. I'm just letting everybody down these days, you know.
Wad Zombie, Rich needs to go back to eating peanut butter and jelly out of the tub.
Hey,
don't
guys,
you want to be 170?
I want to be.
Don't you want to be 175 for this?
Hey, I'll get back to where I need to be. Yeah, I want to be as light as I can, just because it's less weight you have to carry across 104 miles. So yeah, I'm not doing anything nutritionally to do that. It's just, if I get down there, great. If I don't, I don't. I would, the lighter I am, the better off it'll be for the overall race. So
Do you feel better?
no.
You don't? You don't feel better later?
Endurance training sucks, like it's fun for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, the only thing that's really, honestly, like as lame as it sounds, the only thing that's really getting me through it all is listening to these presidential biographies. Because like I said, I get in there and I'm like, oh yeah, I got an hour. I got 2 hours to listen to, get through this book. So, yeah, I don't know. It's been good. Like I said, I do enjoy getting out, getting into the woods. It's nice that, I don't have to go roll around on a roller or stretch or anything right before I get on the bike. Literally the first 10 or 15 minutes, getting my heart rate up, and I'm good to go for the next hour or two. There's not a ton of warm up for it. You literally just hit the bike, and go.
And Murph seems like a perfect supplement to that.
Yeah, it really is. It's good.
It's kind of crazy.
It's like if I'm not biking that day because we're traveling, I'm like, all right, Murph, I'm getting a longer sustained effort, not nearly as long as like the bike, but still it's a good sub for it.
Tell me about the race. What's 104 miles look like? Is that get on the bike and you don't get off unless you have to pee or until the race is over? That's it?
There's a couple aid stations. I think at 25, maybe at 50, it's an out and back. The problem, so we're doing it with a charity. It's called First Descents, and they take people basically that have some type of impairment and take them and do outdoor activities. So with Mayhem Mission, we're partnering with them. It's kind of hard to get into the race. You have to qualify, and I just didn't have time to qualify. So we're doing it through this charity, but you have to start at the very back of everybody. So if you've qualified, you get to start towards the front. And so,
are you chipped, Rich? Are you chipped?
Yeah, you're chipped. And so, only 3 people last year apparently made it from what they call the whites, the charity, and did it sub 9 hours. So my goal is sub 9 hours. And then the more I've been doing it, I'm like, man, I should just do a qualifier and move up. But I want to see this first year if I can do it from the back and see what happens. And then next year, if I don't get it sub 9, I'm going to try to do a qualifier and do it. But we'll see. I'm trying. So
there's hundreds of people who've started back there, and only 3 have made it sub 9.
Yeah, and I mean you're kind of marred in the back, so you have to kind of either cut through everybody or we'll see. So there's a group of, there'll be 4 of us, maybe 5. We're trying to talk Rory into. There was a couple people that had to drop out from First Descent, so we're trying to talk Rory into doing it with us. But there's a couple guys, all remote. One of the guys, Michael, he was here the other day, a good friend of ours from Alabama. Another guy we've met in Amarillo, Spencer, and then Dave Curtis, who I elk hunt a bunch with. We're all kind of we're doing it together, but not together. And we share what we're doing training wise every day, a little bit of group motivation, and so it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Rich, when you travel like this trip to how many days were you in DC?
4.
Do you take anything fitness related? Do you take a jump rope or a ball to roll on or a vest? Do you take anything?
If I'm driving, yes. Flying, jump rope, and then I've got some bands and stuff that I need to use. If I'm driving, usually something is taken. Depends on what we're doing. So like we went to Tyler and Bailey's wedding last weekend, and it was in Missouri. And Bailey's dad has an incredible setup. We call it the Rob Mahal. His name's Robert, and it's impeccable. Like there's not a speck
like the
of
Taj
chalk.
Mahal, but the Rob Mahal.
Yep,
nice.
You got it. And there's not like a speck of chalk in this entire place. It's a beautiful like workout facility, pool house thing. And so I didn't bring anything. I brought my bike. That way we found some trails. It was called 2 Rivers Mountain Bike Park, and it was incredible. But at that time, all I brought was my bike because I knew we had a place to work out. And then what I've been trying to do is when I travel, hit a Mayhem affiliate close since we're doing all that. And it's been fun. It's been good to like, because for years I was so hyper focused on just competing. So I'm getting in whatever I need to get in. But now it's like I get to work out for fun. The biking has been my training. But everything else is fun working out, which has been a nice change of pace where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that today. I'm not going to do that, So it's been good for me mentally.
You're taking your bike to Madison to keep the training going?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're going to try to we're working on hopefully stay tuned. But Mayhem Athlete kind of a campground takeover, and then maybe try to do some morning rides from the campsite, or we're gonna do kind of a whole Mayhem athlete activation out there.
Bitchin'. That's in cooperation with CrossFit?
Yeah.
Fair question.
No.
Jake Chapman, what's Rich's favorite George Michael album? Totally fair question.
Is this gonna be bad that I don't know who George Michael is?
No, that's
Okay.
the right answer.
All right, good. I was
Has Rich looked into longevity supplements like Resveratrol
Resveratrol
and NMN?
No, never heard of her.
Yesterday I shot I probably shouldn't talk about this with you on the show. Yesterday I shot not TRT, peptides. There's this one called BPC 157.
Yep.
When you're retired, you can talk about it. But yesterday I shot it into my bicep.
Did it work?
I don't know, but it was dude, it's so easy.
That one used to be allowed, I think, and now it's WADA banned because it has to work then, I guess, right?
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. But I literally it's the needle's so tiny, and I literally just pushed it in. I was gonna do it on the air, but then I thought, I bet you YouTube fucking sends me into fucking a death spin.
They'll put you into the timeout chair.
Yeah, if I show myself putting a needle on my arm.
Yeah, probably wouldn't like that.
I sent you you did that podcast with Rory and Angelo, episode 9. Congratulations, by the way. Or is it episode 8?
Thank you. I don't even know. Who
it's
knows?
Episode 8. You're on episode 8.
Could be our last episode. You never know.
And by the way, congratulations on the ad reads. Brilliant.
You like those?
Dude, so fucking good. It's so good.
The last one, I didn't realize Scott put the where I'm, everybody wants to complain about, oh, stupid ad reads, blah, blah, or ads, blah, blah, blah. And
no, they're so good.
How we have to pay for this stuff, right? Somehow. And Scott,
dude, everyone likes him.
As I'm in my rant, Scott puts it in there. So,
hey, everyone likes them, and even the people who don't like them like them. They're absurd.
Yeah.
They're absurd. They're crazy. They're so fun. Hey, dude, it's probably one of the only ads I don't fast forward through.
Right, because you want to just see what kind of how less emphasis I put in it.
And I'm just like, I just look at your face. I'm like, does he need glasses? Does someone need to move that thing closer? Is he is he gonna
put a question mark on the teleprompter again? Yeah. I'm Rich Froning.
So in that episode, so you made that episode, and then I text you. I was like, "Oh no, Rich, do we have to go to war?" And you said,
I was like, man, I had to second guess. I'm like, did I say anything? I didn't think I did.
And then you're like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "I heard you went after Dave." And you're like, "No, give it a listen." So I did. I listened. We definitely have to go to war.
All right, what's the war?
I can't believe you. What about Here's what I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I'm very sensitive to Daddy Dave. I
get it.
I love myself some Dave.
I love Dave too. I don't want that. I didn't want that to come across. I love Dave, and I think it's a net positive that Dave is back 100%.
You just said there's two things. Well, can I just play one thing for you really quick? And then it's not so much what you say here. Well, no, hold on. Before I play it, you basically say that, hey, he got power at one point and turned into a power tripper.
In less words, or in more words, I guess, yeah. Not necessarily a power tripper. I think just.
And that you hope that whatever he did doesn't happen again. Yeah. What did he do? Can you tell us what he did?
I don't.
I asked him too. I'm like, hey, what's up? He goes, I don't really know. And I go, come on.
I can, if we've played phone tag a little bit, I'll talk to Dave about that. I'm not doing public beefs. That's not my style.
Good.
Like I said, I love Dave, and
is there something specific though that the only thing specific I heard you say. So Justin Cotler had expressed some pretty strong concerns about Dave coming on, and what he kind of slipped in there is Dave blocked me from Instagram. And the only thing that I heard that you said,
than that, mine's more of a. If somebody blocks me on Instagram, I don't care. That's not where.
Has anyone ever blocked you on Instagram? Just for the record,
I guarantee multiple people. I get unfollowed a lot. They tell me in the comments.
But so the only thing that you say in there is that I think what you were alluding to is that recently he visited Tia.
That was more of like just giving
a joke.
That was a prod at Dave if he ever watched it, which he probably won't. But yeah, no, that was more of a like, because he texts Rory. He's like, "Hey, have Rich text me," and I'm like, "We have phones." You know what Dave does. He does his little slights that he wants to like,
Hey, Manny Spiegel. Hey, whose side are you on? Mine or Rich's? What the fuck are you doing? This is my show. Dave has been kind of a prick in the past. That's the thing. I don't think. I think
mine. Like I said, my grievances are more personal grievances. I think publicly for CrossFit, Dave has been good. Dave was the villain that we needed.
Right.
Like he stepped into that and does a good job with that. Behind the scenes, Dave's great. We've had our personal differences, nothing like, it's like any friendship.
So it's not CrossFit related. It's not like he went out of his way to raise your affiliate fees or he took level ones away from you.
On the contrary,
it's personal. It's
Dave,
like, hey, you saw him staring at Hillary's butt for too long.
No, absolutely not. No, on the contrary.
Oh.
I mean, Dave, when I started CrossFit or when we had the gym and I won semifinals, he came up to me. My first interaction with Dave Castro was, "Hey, where do you train? We have a gym. I can't afford to call it CrossFit." He's like, "Email me on Monday. We'll waive your affiliation fee for a year." And they did that.
This is like 2010 or 11 or
2010. And so, No, I mean, it's more of a personal me and Dave thing. And I'm not going to get out and like bash Dave in publicly. I think, like I said, for CrossFit, for where we're at, I think it's a positive that Dave is back.
I think he's fucking. Here's the thing.
Yep.
Let me paint one more. Let me paint one more piece, and then we'll go on. There at one point, Rory says in the show something along the lines of, maybe I even have a time code for it. One point during the show, Rory says something like, "Hey, so many people came after Boz about his programming. Let's see if they come after Dave for his programming."
Right.
And my thoughts were, first of all, shitloads of people come after him every year for the programming, but also Dave is I can't think of a great metaphor, but Dave is a 10-bedroom house. Mm-hmm. So if I visit your house, Rich, and one room is dirty, I'm not like your whole fucking house is dirty. No, Dave brings
people. Everybody is people. We're people.
Dave brings so much to the table. Adrian is still only a 1-bedroom house.
Right. Dave's big picture on a lot of the stuff, which not to say Boz isn't, but Dave,
But I just mean what he means to us as the community. He can fuck up in ways. We're not all created equal, right? He can fuck up in ways that we forgive him that other people can't fuck up.
Yeah.
So if Dave does a bad workout, it's not the same as if Boz does a bad workout. It's the same with you. Once you have 4 fucking CrossFit Games victories and you shit the bed on one event, everyone's not like, "Hey, you suck at CrossFit."
Right.
But if you've only done,
he's got like you said, he's got 13 years of us looking at his programming. We had one snapshot of Boz doing it.
Right.
I'm.
People are out there comparing apples to oranges and not viewing like, hey, this is fucking amazing that we have an alpha back in the scene. I don't care whether you like him or not. The ship's going to get organized and we're going to get the mission accomplished. And I just felt like I was like, hey, I was like, why doesn't Rich just say, holy fuck, this is fucking amazing. Dave is back. And then, by the way, be like, hey, you owe me one. You're really an asshole. Text him on the side and the back. Like, that's more like what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
but
we're on the same team. I think it's you
and Dave are on the same team.
Yeah. I'm saying me and you too.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think it's a positive that Dave is back. I didn't want that to come across whatsoever. I'm on a podcast where we're trying to get views as well. So I'm trying to be give a subjective years of history analysis of it, so I think, like I said, I think it's for the better that he's back.
I wish that you guys would have been like single and that it was a girl problem, like you guys shared a girl or something.
Oh yeah. No, we didn't do that.
Hey, and another thing that's interesting to watch, which I'm sure you know and I know, is Justin and Rory have had a very full relationship.
Yeah.
Very full, complex ups and downs, and very, very intimate. They were very close, and then they had some fucking just all out fucking breakups. And so I was interested if Rory was going to dabble in that too.
I think Rory, like when we talked about, like still you got the human element to all this. Like somebody lost their job that has kids, and you don't want to dance on somebody's grave. Like it is tough. Like everybody sees, like, oh, they ruined, CrossFit or whatever, and it's like there's still a human element to all this, and families and stuff like that. So that's the hard part for a lot of it.
I have not. It's funny you say that, because I've been so harsh to Justin on this show, but I was telling my wife, I was like, fuck, I feel like sending Justin a text because the fact I know he's a husband and he has kids, and I know this shit is fucking really, really hard.
Yeah.
But I've already been so much an asshole to him that I just thought, well, fuck, that's not gonna come across sincere.
Yeah, but you mean it, like, and that's the hard part about all this is like, if CrossFit wants to be a real sport, you look at every other sport, and the difference with CrossFit is there's a sport, but there's this community side to the actual movement of what CrossFit is. But you can be critical of what's going on and question, and we can still find some type of way to discuss it, and you can still be sincere about if you don't agree with something, and that's society.
It would have hurt your feelings though if Dave said that about you publicly. If he said, well, I'm glad Rich is having his fifth kid, but I hope he treats him better than that other one because he's kind of a power trip around his kids. That would have fucking hurt you. Right?
Yeah, Dave said some stuff to me or around me or to or about me that I'm okay. And here's the deal. It's like, hey, like in society today, we can love people, but we don't have to agree with them on everything. And so, like, hey, let's have a discussion. Let's do it. So,
okay. There's a question in here that I don't get it. I don't get how Dave is alpha just because he's arrogant.
Dave was a Navy SEAL. How can you be a Navy SEAL and not be an alpha?
I don't know if I can point to what exactly it is about him, but he's a man. He's very concise in what he says. He's very poignant in what he says. And for some reason, Dan, people want to work for him. When he worked at CrossFit, people go to him when they have questions. And so whether you were in accounting or in legal or in the games or in media, people go to him, including myself, to ask for his direction and his advice.
Yeah, I think some people are just leaders, like it's my wife. If there's ever a definition of an alpha as an alpha, but she doesn't understand what that means. She's like, what do you mean? That hurts me that I'm an alpha. And I'm like, it's not a bad thing. You're gonna get shit done, and you're gonna be, like it is what it is. And some people are just made like that, like life's been given them, and I think they're more developed like you're developed that way through experiences. But yeah, Dave 100% is an alpha. But Dave is a dick.
And the people who like
most alphas are dicks at some point, like it is what it is.
And people who like alphas, you don't like them because of the reason why you like other people. You like them because shit gets done. Yeah. So if you're with an alpha, you wake up at 6 and you're done at 4. If you're and you're happy that you're done with whatever the task is. If there's no alpha, you wake up at 6 and a week later you're still not done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So I think that's why people like working out with you. They come in, they know they're going to work. They can kind of turn their shit off, and they know that, okay, Rich has control of the workout today. I'm going to come in. We're going to get the work done, and we're going to be fitter when we leave.
Maybe.
Hey, what do you think about this theory that I have that training? Would you consider what you have as a training camp?
Training family.
Yeah. I was thinking that only people who train, only people who train by themselves win the games. And then they're like, and by themselves meaning that they don't belong to another camp. And they go, well, Rich belongs to a training camp. I go, no, he doesn't. Rich trained by him. Rich trained, and those people came and trained with him. Well, Tia belonged to a training camp. No, Tia trained, and those people came and trained with her. Matt had training camp. No, Matt trained, and those people came. Do you think that there's something, a character? Do you think there's any validity to that? You know what I mean? Same with look at Ben Smith, even, right?
Yeah.
Look at Graham Holmberg. They didn't go to fucking training camps. Those guys all trained. Annie Thor's daughter, she didn't belong to a training camp.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that has to be mentally in you, like, and I think that's part of the hard part for me, even where I'm at in my career and with having athletes here, I will 100%, if somebody, I don't want to be like I don't like to stand over people, and I didn't need that. I didn't like that. I don't want to be like, hey, if you need something, you come to me, that type. But it is a, hey, if you need something, I'm here. But I don't want to overstep because I never needed that. And yeah, I think there's a special you need a special something that I'm going to get my shit done. I don't really, yeah, you might need some help and have an outside somebody looking at it, but use a coach, for example. Like, I never needed a coach. I had Darren there that I would kind of bounce ideas off of, but Darren wasn't, hey, you have to do this. Darren would be like, hey, you might think about doing that, or, whatever it was. It was nice to have somebody to kind of bounce ideas off of, but I was very just self-motivated. And all those people that you've named, not to say people that go to training camps aren't self-motivated, but we were, I guess, the ones so far that have been just kind of anomalies that we're just kind of there, like that's just what we do, and don't need somebody to kind of stand over us and tell us, hey, you should be doing more of this or less of that or whatever. And I never, it's funny, I had a couple times I watched a video with Jason Khalipa and Austin Begeving, was that his name that was coaching him in the beginning? And I reached out to him. This is before sectionals or semifinals, reached out to him and asked him maybe to help coach me. And he said, he never even responded. And then I met him later on. He was like, he remembered the email. And then I actually, after the Rogue Again Faster throwdown, asked Ben Bergeron to help me. And so Ben had me write down kind of everything that I was doing, and then gave me a workout a day. And I sent it to him after, and he's like, man, I can't give you enough stuff to do. I can't come up with enough. He's like, I can't coach you. And so we always joke about that too. And so I think it's just in you, like it's a mental disorder, and you just kind of, just
You harness it.
It really is, like it's I've come to realize it's, it's probably some type of substance abuse, some type of mental disorder, some type of all that kind of stuff. But it all worked out, I guess, in the right direction. Parents, upbringing, and all that stuff.
Adrian Conway, until Medeiros from the men, they all owned their training, had assistants in some areas, yet programmed by feel and designed their own progress. They had a thorough understanding of the methodology. Adrian, that being said, I would say that
So wise, Conway, always.
As much as I don't want to take anything away from Adam Knifer, but I would also say that Medeiros trains alone, meaning he has Adam there, but Adam's his maybe a little more hands-on, or even a lot more hands-on than Darren Hunsucker, but still it's just Justin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's not joining. I wouldn't say Justin's in a camp.
Right. Yeah, he's got him and is it
Ellie. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that would make sense. It's not a big group. What I guess I like about now what we've got going on here is it reminds me a lot of what's great about CrossFit and about the community, of having that kind of, like, we got our group and our kind of family, that you got these different kind of training groups, and everybody, depending on what they're working on at specific times. For me, selfishly now, individually, I don't think I could do it, because it would be like, hey, I'm going to get up and I'm not waiting for you to get here. I'm going to just go ahead and start doing what I need to start doing. Versus with a camp, at times, you're waiting on everybody else's schedule and, what they've got to do, what they want to do, working around all that. And so for me at the time, like, I don't think, if I was still an individual for the last 6-7 years, I don't think Mayhem would be what it is today, because of, the lack of community side of it. Now, the last couple of years, we've had a good community because I was a little less obsessed with myself training. Does that make sense? Because, I didn't, at the time, I don't give a shit if your fitness is good. Towards the end, the last couple of years on the team, well, every year on the team, I was more worried about, I was getting my stuff done, but I was also making sure everybody else was getting their stuff done, because if they were fitter individually, we were fitter as a team. And so that's kind of where the camp here at Mayhem developed along the years.
I just want to. Do you follow your YouTube channel very closely? The metrics of it and all that. Like, do you know what's going on over there?
Not really. A little bit. Like if I see I'll check the video, scan the video, and then look and see, if people are commenting or if they give a crap about what that specific thing we're doing is.
But you don't drop into the minutia. Like, do you know? I'll tell you this, and then you tell me if you know this. So basically, I want to say, I could be wrong, but I want to say like Matt has 1 million more Instagram followers than you now, and there's people who have more Instagram followers than you. But if you look at this whole landscape of YouTube channels that are out there, everyone in the CrossFit space, there's no one who's fucking doing it even close to as well as you. So anywhere that anyone's beating you in any metric, you're beating them in 5 other metrics. So the metrics might be number of subscribers. So CrossFit has more subscribers than you, but you destroy them in minutes watched. I mean, do you know what I mean? And someone else, in your conversion, the number of people who actually are subscribed to your show, that actually watch your show, it's fucking off the chart. Like you in the CrossFit space, you guys own the YouTube scene. Like in every
Scott and Ben, man, they do a good job. Scott is a one of a kind worker. Like Scott is an alpha when it comes to media.
This is
Vandersloot, man. What I love about Scott is and that's a hard part for me right now, where I'm trying to figure out where I fit into this whole like post, me competing at a high level, is like, what is my leadership style now that I'm not like, when we're training, like I'm never going to ask somebody to do something that I wouldn't do myself or hadn't done to kind of get to this point. And Scott is that style of leader. Like, we just brought on Frank, and Frank's a little bit older. He was retired from his last job. And Frank is like, I can't hang with these guys that are at what event, at one of the semifinals. He's like living on protein bars and energy drinks. And I'm like, man, sleep a little bit. And he's like, I can't. Scott's, in there grinding, and I can't not let Scott work. And which is great. I love that. That's the kind of people we have. But man, Scott's the G when it comes to that. And he's an alpha when it comes to camera stuff and work.
Oh, I didn't know Scott was straight. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Madeline. Yeah. So
congratulations on that. It's crazy.
We just got great people. Scott's fit too, dude. Like Scott gets in there every morning at 6 and just grinds for an hour and a half. And then sometimes in the afternoon, if he's got time, like Scott, like if we go on these elk hunts, man, Scott is right there. He's never once been like, hey, we got to slow down. Hey, I got to do this. I got to do this, whatever. Scott's like, I'm like, hey, we're thinking about going up to the top of that peak over there. And Scott's like, in. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a product of definitely of what we have. And Scott, like I said, leading that ship on the media side has done an incredible job.
Yeah, you're killing it. And I do think that there's significantly more value in having a strong YouTube channel than any other
I think you get more medium. Of like the authenticity, or like what people are really like. It's hard on Instagram to get from a snapshot of somebody, whatever. And I think,
I was also just thinking on return of investment and influence. I think influence, for sure. There's people who have 2 million followers on Instagram who have 0 influence.
No. Yeah. Cause they're just getting clicked and
right.
And creepers behind the screen, which I'm sure we still have some creepers behind the screen, but and I feel like the older that I've gotten, the more authentic and more or less give a shit I have. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to say how I actually feel versus, when you're young and you don't really know how people are going to respond to stuff. You're like, and now I'm to the point where I'm like, for the most part, the people that like me are going to like me. And if you don't like me already, you're probably not going to like me anyway. So.
660 listeners. Rich equals a real needle mover. Dan Guerrero. Rich seems to manage to be a great leader without being arrogant. I think that's in reference to Dave being arrogant. I don't think Dave is arrogant. If you think he's arrogant, go watch his weekly reviews. He is that is really who Dave is right there. He's very thought out. I wouldn't say he's arrogant.
If you only see snapshots, I could see where you could think Dave was arrogant.
Yeah.
Knowing Dave, I know he's not. Dave's just he's. And I value that. He's got what he believes, and he's not going to waver off that. And, the older you get, the more you can, and I know I'm sounding like I am getting older, but it's like you can value where people, hey, I'm not not that I won't necessarily hear you out, but I'm not going to waver my thoughts on that, because that's what I believe, and that's where we're at. So I wouldn't say Dave's arrogant by any means.
Let me tell you a defining characteristic of Dave. If me and Rich and my kids all walked in, we were at lunch together, and someone walked up to the table and said hi. Let's say it was the fucking mayor of Miami. Dave would say, Mr. Suarez, or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. This is Rich Froning. This is Sevan Matosian. This is Avi Matosian. Dave would introduce everyone.
Yep.
Like, this motherfucker is a cool dude.
Yep.
He won't leave anyone out. So, I don't know. I think that's more indicative. I don't. He's prickly. He's prickly.
I think we need
and
that.
I've seen you in your videos, your training videos. You can be prickly too. I think that's the nature. Yeah, I think you can be prickly
I'm
too.
abrasive. I'm abrasive for sure.
Yeah. So I don't think of either of you guys as arrogant. In your podcast, you bring up something that was you kind of tripped me out. I hadn't thought of it like this before, but you want to talk about maybe growing the sport for the athletes, right? Professionalizing it, but you also would like to see the athletes be more community oriented. And boy, dude, I don't see those two fucking being bedfellows.
It's not been recently. I mean, when it was growing,
Matt would never do something like the Tahoe Throwdown, dude. Do you know what I mean? And that's not a dig at Fraser, but
no, absolutely not. It was a different time.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what you're saying. You want to see more of. You want to see the athletes,
I would love it. I
visiting
think
more affiliates, doing more fun stuff like that, more lighthearted stuff.
Yep. Off season for sure.
Yeah.
I think, it's tough, and it's easier me saying that now that I'm not competing. And maybe it's, as you get older, that's how bring us back into it. But I think it'll grow way faster. It'll be better for the athletes more, or longevity wise. I mean, that's when you saw the most growth, is when me, Khalifa, Dan, those types of guys were around. I'm speaking from the men's side, because we were part of the community, went to those things. And as tough as they were at times, and, it is a lot of travel and whatever, but if you really want to see and have some growth, some real growth, like CrossFit Games and CrossFit as a methodology, or as a affiliate group, or whatever you want to define that as, the community, they don't need to be at odds. It needs to be one cohesion. Like, CrossFit Games is one expression of CrossFit. It's what is possible, but it's still CrossFit. And
drag you guys out to like the Montana event, when they would drag you out to the Montana event.
Yeah. I mean, it's I see it every day in the affiliate. Like, it's easy for me. I keep coming back to how old I am, but it's perspective and seeing that, and you get so short-sighted, and it's tough. Like, I get it. When I was an individual, I was obsessed, and that's all I thought about, and everything I wanted to do was compete, and individually and all that. And now it's like, now that I have a little bit of perspective and see what it is, I'm like, man, those things were actually huge. And one, I got to meet a bunch of cool people, but also we got to grow the sport in a way that we haven't seen in a while, because it's different.
Zach Ritter, I interrupted Dave at a dinner to say hello before an open announcement in Asheville, North Carolina, and he was extremely nice to me. You know what else is interesting? I was watching this video that Andrew Hiller made, and he was showing like he was choosing the games winners by the number of Instagram followers they have. He did that last year, and he did it this year too, to see if and then later on he'll show us does the person with the most followers, how do they place? And I think that the man who had the most followers who's competing this year was Noah Olson at 840. And what's interesting is that's close to how many followers Dave has.
Really?
And so it's just worth noting. I don't know if you can draw any conclusions, but it's worth noting where we are at the sport. When I watch the UFC weigh-ins, Rich, going back to the Dave thing, I won't watch them if Dana White's not there. So one out of every 10, he won't be at the weigh-in. He'll have one of his other guys do it.
Right.
Yeah. For I don't know why, but I just don't want to watch it without Dana.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like I said, Dave was CrossFit does miss the villain side of it a little bit. And Dave, whether he tried to be or not, was a little bit of that, mostly out of fun, open announcements and whatever he was doing. But I think when Dave was there, it was better for it. Like the open announcements, you watch the open announcement now just to see what the workout is real quick, and then you go do the workout. You know, where it used to be kind of a show and was kind of funny, and you were waiting to see what kind of horrible handwriting Dave had, or you know what kind of how his presentation.
God, his handwriting was horrible.
He writes from the bottom. Him and Angelo write very similarly, actually.
And what were you going to say? What was the nuance there that you were going to point
Well,
out?
just, you know, how he did his hands, or how he would, deliver the workout at times. And, just kind of, part one is, with his hands. And it was, you're always looking for that.
I think Dave definitely has something that's like could be clinically diagnosed.
I think we all have something. Now, we all have something that could be clinically.
He's got something that they do in the yellow bus. Yeah. Is Rich on TRT? Are you fucking kidding me? Look, he's a pinner. He weighs 180.
I wish. Maybe one day when I'm done competing. I'm not opposed to it.
Make sure you get a piece of that company.
Yeah,
you definitely need a piece of that company. Thanks for all the content, Sevi, Greg, Rich, football players, coaches, nonstop, great quality. Thank you.
Great.
Thank Rich. Hey, what do you think?
California money different than regular money, or is that Canada money?
Oh yeah, that's Canada money.
Good question. So it's like $6.
Yes, thank you.
Just
quick
kidding.
Conversion.
Just kidding. I don't even know what it is.
What did you think about Justin Medeiros' body, his frame, his build? Is he a different shape? Is he like broader, you think, than your average CrossFitter? You see anything about his physique that you're like, okay, yeah, that's a winning body, or that's a different body that's won in the past? Look how thick this dude is.
I think you just just being stronger is better, and he just looks like a normal dude.
Okay, and then what do you think about his finish in the semifinals? I think he took like 5th or 7th. Does that does that concern you, or are you like, oh shit, something's wrong? Like,
no, absolutely not. He's a games champion. He knows what he's got to do. He knows where he's at, and I'm sure he'll be just fine in a couple weeks.
You don't think it's playing tricks on his head?
No. I hope not. Like I've been there. I think me and Matt, Tia, a couple of us have been there, and we know, and what they're going through, and it's not an easy mentally. It's not easy when you have the target on your back, and it's way less fun as well. Like when it's expected, and then you got people always second guessing what you're doing. So hopefully he's disconnected from. Luckily for me, social media was starting to come around, but it wasn't the main thing. I think that's a big problem with a lot of these younger athletes, is there's so much self-worth and so much of their who they are is in that phone and what they see on comments and who they are digitally, that it really can mess with you, and you can start down a dark hole. And then luckily I've got kids that they could care less who I am. They see stuff, and they're starting to kind of understand, like, if we go somewhere and people are asking, they're like, my oldest is starting to grasp it a little bit, but and they've been to the games a couple of times now, and they see a little bit of it, but they don't care. I'm dad, as long as I show up and play baseball in the yard, or push them on the swing, or jump on the trampoline, or whatever it is. That's all they really care about. They'd probably actually like me to do less training at times. So I've got that perspective of, hey, it's going to be okay. And man, it's tough. It's tough when you're in it, though. It's you put so much time into this, and it's kind of who you are. And so you want to make sure that you don't read too much into that. That's the hard part with I think with the younger athletes are going through right now.
Rich, are your nipples pierced?
No, they're just regular old nipples.
Oh, all right. Hey, that is interesting what you said about the kids, that they ground you. That is, I didn't think about that. They really ground. Yeah, they're really grounding.
They're really grounding and really infuriating. Like, I got one that just walked out, and she's
like, you can just be all lost up in your fucking life, and then someone's like, hey, from the bathroom yells, "I'm done.
I'm done. Hey, I need help. Come wipe me."
Yeah, and you're just like,
like, you just like, I just snatched, a good weight. I hadn't snatched in a while, and then, hey, Dad, I just dumped over this bucket of paint, something like that.
You're just trying to have a minute to wipe your own ass, and someone's yelling at you from the next bathroom over. Can you come wipe my ass?
Wipe my ass, man. That's the best.
You'll do this. You'll go to the games, then you'll do the Leadville, and then do you have a plan after that?
I'll be out west hunting quite a bit this fall. We've got a couple hunts lined up. That's something that I've really gotten into the last little bit. And then after that, I think you're probably asking athletically what I'll do.
Are you going to be addicted to biking after that? Are you going to be frustrated with your finish at Leadville and start training for it the following year?
Who knows? We'll see. I'm at the point, like I said, in career-wise, like I'll probably do open if I make the quarters, do the quarters. If I do make semis, I'll do semis. And if I feel like I want to compete at the games that year, I will. If I don't, I won't. I'm in a good spot with where I'm at, and I like kind of finding these new challenges. So, if something else comes up that I'm like, hey, I want to give that a shot, I'm going to do it. I just, like I said, this year I thought, hey, maybe I'll go do Masters. I got to semifinals and did that and didn't really enjoy doing it, and so I realized I do enjoy the team side of stuff. So, hey, maybe if we find some 2-man competitions and do some local stuff somewhere and have some fun. I do enjoy doing CrossFit, but I've been there, done that kind of deal.
So you kind of swerved over into the team lane saying, so are you saying that there's
I won't be back as on a 4-person team at the games. I will not do that, but I would do like a 2-man competition somewhere. If it was, I'm doing one a 3-person in Michigan in a couple weeks. So
is that a conversation you've had with Hillary about not doing the games anymore, individual or team?
I think she kind of knows. I think, this year when I was doing the open, quarters, and semis, she was like getting a little fidgety and nervous, like, oh no, like this is going to be. And so I don't think she believed me when I said I declined my invite to the games. Like, she's like, yeah, right. I'm sure, something's going to happen. And so it's been good. It's been good. The kids, like I said, they're going to go to school this year, the little two. And so we've had a good summer. Luke doing some travel. And like I said, I got to go on a little trip to DC. And then this weekend we were at the NASCAR race in Nashville last night for Dad's birthday. He's sick. He'll be 60 in a couple weeks. And then we got Monster Jam in Nashville, the World Finals on
Is that Monster Trucks?
Yeah. Have you done that with the boys yet?
No.
Oh, bro. They will love it. I love it. Like it is awesome.
The Nationals Monster Truck.
Yeah, it's in Nashville. So like it's like the World Finals. And nothing will make you feel like a kid again and like going to monster trucks. It's awesome.
I did go as a kid. Andrew Hiller, do the open division for the sheer fact that you were willing to try at the age of 36 would forever make you better than Fraser.
Nice.
Andrew Hiller,
everybody.
Always thinking ahead. Hey, how often do you get ticks, Rich?
On the regular, man. This year's been bad.
Daily?
Not daily. I'd say weekly.
Is Hillary worried about your kids?
Yeah, like
and ticks.
Trice had one on his balls the other day. Like it was.
Was it dug in yet? Was it dug in yet?
It was dug in, but it wasn't like full of anything yet. So
right.
Man, they're everywhere right now. I don't know if we had a pretty mild winter, and so it didn't kill off a lot of that. And so it's like I'll come back from riding, and the one day I had one dug into the back of my leg. It's been about 2 months ago. I was getting some PT done, and the guy's like, "Oh, you got an ingrown hair on the back of your knee." And so I turn over and I'm looking at it, and it's a freaking tick dug in there, and it'd been on there for a while. It left a huge bruise.
Was it are they those little tiny black ones that look like fleas, or you have like the legit big ones? Because the tiny ones are scary because you can't see those.
Yeah, we've got little seed ticks, and then we've got all kinds of ticks. We got seed ticks, and we have those. The problem is you got the Lone Star tick now that apparently makes you allergic to meat or whatever.
No shit.
White dot, allergic to red meat or something.
Yeah, I like those kind right there because you can spot them.
Spot them, yeah, they're big. Now you got me like checking because I'm in the woods every day riding, so.
Who spotted the one on his ball sack? Did he tell you?
He did. He's like, Dad, I got something on my nuts. And so I'm like, what? So I'm like, all right, let's, because it's still kind of weird,
You should have pulled out the cigarette lighter.
I know. I just smashed its head and threw it in the toilet. Because we were at a restaurant too. He's like itching his balls, and he's like, Dad, there's something black on my balls or on my nuts. I'm like, all right, let's go.
So 1 minute you're pulling a tick off of some dude's nuts, and then the next minute you're using those same hands to eat a hamburger. Isn't life great?
I didn't even wash my hands.
Oh, I know. Sometimes before at 9 a.m. I've touched fucking 4 cocks. I'm like, wow, what is my life turned into?
What has happened?
Yeah.
What has happened?
I've wiped 4 asses and touched more dick than I've touched in my whole life. It's crazy.
And one of them's not even your own, Like
3 of them aren't even my own.
I told you my theory, like how long I want to live, right? I want to live just long enough for somebody to have to wipe my ass one time. I don't want to be a burden on anybody, but I want one time. Just one time, and then I'm done.
Careful what you wish for.
Yep.
I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
You're the man. Stay clear of ticks.
Stay clear of ticks.
Oh wait, what is this? One more. Jake Carter. Sevi must be allergic to meat. Smoker been on video all interview and didn't ask a single smoking question. Oh, I did see that thing in the background.
Oh, yeah, pit boss. Yeah.
I thought it was a dehydrator or something.
Oh yeah, no, it's a tall smoker. Beef
what
ribs.
Did you just put?
Beef ribs are my go-to. I love some beef ribs.
It sits right there by the window as a smoker.
I'll pull it out here. I'm on the back patio at the house, so it's kind of like I'll bring it out here where it isn't just pluming smoke on the ceiling there.
I've never seen one of those. I couldn't recognize a smoker. So you're right, Jake. It's not that I'm allergic to meat. I'm in California. I'm just in California. Like I just don't.
You guys eat meat in California still?
We do.
Is that allowed? Can you farm out there? Isn't there too much methane or something from cows?
It's frowned upon. Rich Froning is going to be able to wipe his own ass until he's 132.
Thoracic mobility. That's the thing that keeps you out of the nursing home.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I appreciate the honest talk. Say hi to Mr. Angelo for me, please.
Will do. See you guys. You coming to Madison?
No.
No. All right. Now, even though that Dave's there now?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Come see us.
All right.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. All right. All right.
My microphone just slowly slides in. You're gonna be able to do 2 shows after Rich? You need like your 20-minute like downtime, like a deregulation off that.
I need a cigarette.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I like how a lot of times too people see Dave when he's like in the heart of the competition at the games in the past and like trying to run that whole event and keep everything together. And like, because you've been behind, their shit's just like falling apart. Like he's just putting out fires left and right. And then they'll see like one clip of him like acting in a certain way. And then people are like, Dave's arrogant.
Yeah, that's a mischaracterization.
Hey, bro, that's like going to every wedding and then looking at the bride and being like, wow, she's all stressed out. Or like the wedding planner and being like, wow, that wedding planner is all stressed out. That's crazy. Why would you act that way? And it's like, this is the event. This is the time. Like this shit, it falls on his back to get off without a hinge. And that was back when you guys had ESPN. So it's like making times for like live.
Dude,
TV
the stress was
like,
crazy.
Holy crap. It's nuts.
And the politics that would go on during the games and the attention that everyone needed and how many big people were in the house.
Yeah. Hey, and Rich said some powerful stuff there when he was talking about like the athletes being included. Because you obviously know, I think that same way. And I realized that like the events that he's doing at Mayhem, getting involved with the charities and like that constant stuff that they're doing there really allows like that connection between all the other, CrossFitters and the games used to be that like, it was just a big festival of all the old affiliate owners, all the people that you would see once a year. Yeah. But you finally get out of your bubble and like you get into this big like festival, right? Like the Woodstock of like what Greg called it, the Woodstock of fitness. And it like revitalizes you and you take all that energy like with you. And so it really did have this really cool effect of like, you go to the festival, you get fired up to do what you're going to do. You go back to your own gym and you get to keep like pushing on, you know what I mean? And the more and more of those that were done were the the athletes were actually doing their own thing and circulating and approachable and stuff like that, tied the thread together from affiliate to event.
Well said. Okay, let me get through a couple of comments here, and then I want to address something. Thanks, Rich the Goat. Rich is now playing with house money. Okay, good. Someone said it must feel good to have Rich. Rich told you he loved you, and you didn't say it back. Sorry, Rich, I love you. Sorry, you're right. That was stupid.
It's a new commenter.
It's got to feel good to have Rich say I love you. No, for sure. Rich said I love you. I love you too, Rich. Get Sevan to Madison. What is it? Sevi would definitely help Rich if he had a tick on his balls in a restaurant. Pull it out with my mouth. Pull it off with my teeth. Philip Kelly, go rub one out, Sevi. A post clarity nut. Yeah. Thank you. Fuck, who talks like that?
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Someone put a ring on it. There was Olivia, I'm a cigarette. Yeah, I will call Andrew after the show. He usually is my cigarette. I usually call him after the show. Or Souza. Good conversation chat with Rich Sevi. Thanks, dude. Thanks, George. Richard Garcia, Sevan, congrats. Love your show. This chat was interesting. Have you talked to Dave, and when is the behind the scenes coming back? Something happened in CrossFit in the past few years. You guys pointed out stuff, but for whatever reason, I lost interest. Bring us back. I am talking to Dave. I'm being very gentle. Like I'm not like, holy shit, I'm your buddy, hook me up. I'm like, you have to understand the massive amount of laundry list of shit. I don't want to say stress or pressure, or I don't want to speak for him, but running the training department and the games now, he's so forward facing, and yet he has to do so much stuff behind the scenes too. I'm just trying to be cool. I'm just trying to be a good friend and be there for him. I don't want to put the number of requests that must be pouring in for him must be just out of control. I just want to add value. So that's kind of where I'm at. Sevan, Judy Reed, Sevan would have to get in line for a tick removal. Okay. Judy, we could do it together. We could pull the tick off his nuts together.
Teamwork.
So here's the thing. I wanted to come at Rich harder, but he being the fucking stud he is, he kind of,
disarmed you?
Yeah, he disarmed me with that deep voice and those arms, but I still was going to come at him hard. But basically he said this. He said, hey, dude, that's between me and Dave. I'm not bringing that out publicly. And like, I don't want him to bring it out publicly. And so he had me kind of cornered like that. Like I wasn't asking, I wasn't asking for him to like give me the dirty details between him and Dave. Yeah. So at that point it was like, yeah, I agree. I don't want to push you and be like, hey, what are the dirty details? I just wanted to hear him say, I just wanted to see if I interpreted it correctly. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't. And so I guess I feel better about that. I mean, I enjoyed hanging with them. In my opinion, getting fired checked Dave a bit, and with the new Dave that does WIR and stuff, it seems he's more humble. Definitely getting fired, I think, put him in check. I will definitely say that.
Yeah, I think he opened up more after that.
What's WIR?
Weekend review.
Oh, yeah, the weekend review is great.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement too. I feel like after that, he was like changing a little bit of the character.
The weekend review is good. Wow.
Good morning.
Hey, guys.
What's up, buddy?
Good to see you guys.
Hey, Maddie. How are you, bud?
I'm great. How are you guys?
You're tan, Alex.
Running outside.
Yeah. You are tan. I was thinking today, I have never had a coach and the athlete on at the same time together. This is a first for me.
Wow. Well, I feel honored. Thank you.
How did that even happen, Souza? I mean, I like it. I'm happy. Was it your idea, Souza? How did that happen?
He's like, fuck Cotler. Why don't we just keep his hair on?
Yeah. Hey,
screw this old guy. What the fuck?
Hey, Cotler, I love you, buddy, but they actually made a thumbnail with you on it. And I was like, no, body shot of Gazan, please. Not,
Dude, don't blame you at all.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Cotler will get his time on the show. He does not need to be in the thumbnail.
100%. There we go.
Running outside, that's why you're dark?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Vegas.
Yeah, it's hot. It's like in the hundreds now.
Crazy. You like that? You're like, do you ever just be like, are you ever like, okay, instead of it's going to be the hottest part of the day, that's when we're going to get out there and run and acclimate? Is it shit like that going on?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
I run it like right when I wake up, so it's not awful.
Mr. Cotler.
Yeah, buddy.
You told her, God, you're amazing. Did you tell Miss Gazan that she could win the semifinals?
Yes.
How do you know to say that? She's just a little kid.
I know. I don't know, man. I just.
Do you ever second guess yourself? Does that come out of your mouth and you're like, uh-oh?
I wouldn't say it.
Okay.
Honestly, I think at this point you just get a feeling about these things, you know, when you've been doing it for a little while, and I would never say that to her if I didn't really truly believe it. Like,
of course, okay.
Ounce of my being, and at the end of the day, when the workouts came out, and you know, I just had this feeling like, well, fuck it, you know, why just qualify? I mean, you know, I was like, I think we can win. I think we can make a statement, and for her maturation process, I think the way she did it too, like, you know, bombing the snatch, having to come back and crush the final day, I actually think like that was even more impactful the way that it ended up happening. It was pretty cool, man. But yeah, no, I said it, I believed it. So
look at these people know my style already. Yeah. Disarm him and then fucking go after him later on for attacking my boy Dave, right? Yeah. You see it. You see it. You see it. You see it. All right. All right.
It was coming at some point.
Yeah. I got just really disarm him, fucking give him a shot of whiskey, and then just fucking put my hand in his pants.
So good.
You know how it works.
My wife's listening too, bro. If you get too bad, she's gonna be here fucking Ashley. You know how bad she could be. The two of you guys went ham sandwiches on somebody together. That'll be fun.
There is this I'll use my kids as the example. There's this, I post stuff about my kids and people will be like, oh my God, they're so talented, or oh my God, this and that, and like they're prodigies. And it's like, dude, you have no, it's every fucking day. Every day they play tennis. Every day they play skateboard. Every day they're doing the martial arts. There was nothing given to them. There's no talent. It's fucking incrementally been put together. There's no overnight success. That being said, I'll start with you, Alex. There is this kind of feel that you're like skyrocketing. And I heard you kind of allude to it on the Talking Elite Fitness podcast, that you're 21 now. And there's a maturation to you. Obviously, we know from previous interviews that the mental game is you've been building your whole life. You've been put in situations where you had to fucking work on you either had to work on your mental game or you were going to perish. So you've had opportunities to work on your mental game your whole life. But this whole physical capacity, is there a little bit of overnight success coming in, or what's going on with you? Does this seem fast to you? Well, actually, let's start with Cotler first. Does this seem fast to you, what's happening to her, to be winning events and winning semifinals?
I mean, if you want me to be honest,
yeah.
You know, I didn't really know the first, you know, you get a feeling generally for athletes, like the athletes that I've worked with in the past, you get this feeling. And there's very few athletes that you work with that you feel can do incredibly special things, right? Like there's athletes you say, okay, yes, they'll be able to make the games, etc. You know, obviously there was Carrie, but if Carrie had some physical limitations, she had no mental limitations, and she was the toughest athlete, right?
You mean just her size, her stature?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
The Rebecca Fuselier curse.
Yeah. I mean, I just, but Carrie had this dog in her that, you know, like she could get out there and hurt with the best of them. But honestly, in my career, there have been 3 athletes that I felt could eventually win the games: Ricky, Danielle, and Alex. Alex, though, it didn't come. It not initially. Like Ricky and Danielle, yes. Like I was like, they have all the stuff.
The Ferrari pulls in your lot and you're like, this thing can win the race.
Alex, when I first met her, I didn't know. There were a lot of limitations as far as her mobility. There were certain things. She's so nice. Like I thought, like, maybe
she's not
nice.
lackadaisical.
No.
But she's a little carefree, right? She got a little like she's carefree, right? Like
she's so nice. You
don't
like,
sense the pressure around.
You gotta have a fucking killer in you, right? Like there's gotta be a killer. And but there were these things that, like, how is she so good at legless rope climbs? Like, how is she getting so strong? Like, what are these things that we're doing that are working? But the trajectory that for normal people goes like this, like went like this, you know what I mean? And she's a good year or two ahead of schedule of where I thought. And the truth is, like, even better than what I thought, you know, where it's just like, holy shit, like this is legit. This is realistic. And I know that I'm putting a little bit more pressure, but that's because it's warranted. Like she has the capability, I think, to have an incredible career, and not just a career, but like a legacy, like leave a legacy. You know what I mean? And there are not a lot of athletes that do this sport that are able to leave a legacy.
She's kind of already doing it. There's like already like a legend building around her, like cool. Like a little bit of folklore that's kind of like already too soon. Another thing is she doesn't wear her pathology on her. Like you can kind of make up a story why Danielle is going to be good. You can make up a story why Ricky is going to be good about their mental space, right? Danielle's had, you know, she wears her pathology, her kind of like her edge on her shoulder. Ricky's kind of is got this Cro-Magnon fucking like alligator. I'll just chew my own leg off to get out of this trap. Right. Yeah, and then Alex is just Alex. But clearly she even said it in also, I think I heard it on the Talking Elite podcast. She's learned to her endurance is growing. She's learning to realize she can hurt more than she thought she could hurt.
Yeah. And what's so cool is that she's just like unabashedly her, right? Like when you hear like when she's on with you or when she's on with Talking Elite Fitness, what's really cool is that like that's her. Like what you see is what you get. You know, she's not there's no act at all. I just don't think she knows how to do that. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, man. I do agree with you in a sense though that the trajectory has been skyrocketing, and I think it's faster than any of us thought in our camp, and I think it's faster than she thought. I mean, she can answer it obviously, but yeah, man, I'm plus the fact that, like I always say, I love when good things happen to good people, and you just don't get much better than Alex, man.
Thoughts, Alex, on your improvements?
Yeah, I think I kind of mentioned this on like Talking Elite Fitness. Like, I think there's like this like thing that's been created, like, oh, she doesn't believe in herself. And I think like to clarify that, it's not that I don't believe in myself. It's like because things are happening so fast, it's like catching up to like the physical side. So like it's not that I didn't think I could make the games at some point. It's just like I didn't expect it to be last year. And it's not that I didn't think I could eventually win a semifinal. It's just like the speed of things is kind of like what keeps the mental side from like being there as fast. But obviously, like now I'm kind of just starting to learn to roll with it. Like, all right, maybe it is possible, or things are possible. And but yeah, I'm excited.
When he says stuff to you, before the semifinals, hey, you can win the semifinals, or there's this story going around that even actually before you took the floor on one of the events, he said to you, hey, you can win this event. What do you do with those statements?
Usually they scare me in a good way. Sorry, my dog's chewing on a bone. I'm gonna take it.
Is it like just that someone believes in you and you want to live up to their expectations? You harness it?
Yeah, like I'd say I'm like a people pleaser. Like I don't like to let people down. So of course, like that's an element. But like I also want to win, like personally, like when that's, so I'm like, okay, like if he thinks I can and I can, then like I want to.
I love being around people who believe in me. I want to believe in people.
Totally.
Is that you, Cotler? Do you think that that's the kind of athlete? Is that indicative of who you are? That's the kind of coach you are. Like, hey, if you want someone to believe in you, come to Justin Cotler. Underdogs Athletics. Is that's kind of their shtick there?
I think so. I mean, I think that I think that's my do that well. I think I find what motivates, and I think I find, because you have to be a chameleon as a coach. You can't treat everybody the same way. There's certain people that if you try tough love with one person, you'll break them, right? If you're not compassionate with another person, and that doesn't work with everyone, man. Listen, I've been doing this a long fucking time. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been coaching games athletes for 14 years, so it's been a long time. And so I feel like I've learned over the years. I don't know everything, and I listen a lot more, and I try to be more understanding in certain circumstances, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass either. Like, at the end of the day, I think it's important to be honest with an athlete, and you just have to find a way to say that, right? Like, you can't be incredibly forceful with one, and with others you can say whatever. But yeah, I do believe that on game day, under intense pressure situations, I feel confident in my ability to bring the most out of an athlete. And Alex played sports in the past, which I think is also really, it's a, I know Rich has talked about this before, like the athletes who have played organized sports, who have been in stressful situations, whether it's in high school, whether it's in college, whether they were gymnasts, whether they were, dealing with that and dealing with coaches and not being as fragile, I think, emotionally, is important. And I think with Alex, the fact that she's had that before in the past, we can relate, because I played, high school and college athletics. And so I just felt like I have this ability to be able to correspond. And I think our vibe is really strong. I just think there's certain people you have incredibly tight bonds with, man. It doesn't happen as often as people think, like you can still coach someone and yes, you love them. And yes, it's a great relationship, but there are very few that are just like, you just feel this special thing with. And, Carrie and I had it, and Ricky and I have it. And obviously Alex and I have it. And I think it's very special when it happens.
Alex, when that was the photo that they tried to use as the thumbnail, I was like, fuck that.
That's a good picture. That's
more flesh, please. Alex, when if let's say Cotler and Souza and I all went out one night, and then when we came back, I told the guys, hey, I'm divorcing my wife. Then Souza and Cotler would tell their wives that, and that would put there's a chance it would put ripples in their relationship. Like, it plants seeds of, like, Cotler's wife might be like, oh shit, like, do I need to check my relationship? Or Susan might be like, oh fuck, he's brave enough to get a divorce, maybe I should get a divorce. And it can put in, God forbid any of us get a divorce, by the way. What a fucking horrible thing to ever have to go through. But when you see, but that's the nature of it. Like I worked at a place, and there was a guy there cheating on his wife, and it fucked up. I could see it sent ripples through all the other married couples in the place, because people start wondering, well, what were they doing when they were going out with them? Or it's a fucked up scene. It's a plant seeds. When you see what happens to Mal or Haley, or even right in your own backyard to Matt DeLugos, which I'd like to talk about a second, and I need to have him on the show to ask what's going on with him. But these are. Does that cause you any insecurity or seismic activity? Like, be like, oh shit, have I fallen into like being over influenced by things? Like,
yeah, no, I feel like if anything, it just kind of like reassures that what I'm doing is like the right thing. Like, I feel like I started the sport with a really healthy introduction into it. Like, I didn't have pressure. Justin was my first like coach. Like, up until Justin, I kind of just did what I wanted. Like, I eventually followed like a template program, but I feel like my dedication has like increased over time. And so like, it's not like I started at 14 and I skipped sports, I skipped prom, I skipped all this stuff. Like, it slowly kind of like dove into the deep end. And so now like I'm ready to make those commitments, and I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like, I'm okay with the fact that the next few years are going to look different than other people my age. And I'm okay with the fact that like date night with Jake, it means being home by 8. Like, I'm okay with that stuff. And it just makes me more aware, like the fact that people like Mal and Haley that seem so happy and so good on the outside. Like you never know what people are going through behind Instagram or behind closed doors. And just makes me more conscious of like, if I need a day to go do something like with Jake or go out on a hike, like Justin's understanding and like, he knows that, like, and I feel like I feel confident to like tell him if I need time off, you know?
That sounds like the definitive characteristic of your relationship with your current career is that you kind of stepped into it on accident, right? You were on the treadmill, it started going faster, and you've kept up.
Kinda, yeah.
You weren't like, okay, I want to be a CrossFit Games athlete, and you were just basically it evolved very slowly or naturally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
it's not forced.
Being an athlete, like once I found out I could compete, like that was like immediately, I want to make it as a teenager. I just didn't understand like the commitment level of that at the time. And I wasn't like, I didn't go all in, and no one like let me quit lacrosse. So like, it was kind of like, okay, like I missed the teenage thing. I want to make it as an individual, but I just like didn't put a timeline on it. Like I just kind of started working out and then obviously like things kind of started speeding up.
Go ahead, Justin.
I think I think one of the differences with Alex, which is interesting, is that I think Alex loves being an athlete, and I think Alex loves training, and I think the way it makes her feel, and she loves the community and the camaraderie. I don't think Alex is obsessed with CrossFit. I don't. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, Alex, but I think that there is actually a balance there that I'm not sure that I even felt could happen, to be honest.
Meaning you couldn't have the balance she has and be as good as she is.
Correct. Yeah. I think she has found a really good balance that even like, so we had this conversation prior to this year, like after last season, I sat down with her and I said, listen, what do you want to be? Right. Here's the deal. You're good enough, in my opinion, to be a perennial top 10 CrossFit athlete. Okay. If you want to be that, we have to take a look at your life, because if you want to know what that's like, go out with Carrie for lunch. And she and Carrie are incredibly close, and Carrie's been a mentor to her. I said, but go out. Every decision that you make has to be geared around, is this helping my journey to be a top 10 games athlete or a podium games athlete? Every decision I make, every time I go out to dinner, every time I do this, every time I do that, there's a lack of balance there that you see with most of the great athletes. Right. And yes, I think there's been a shift there, but like, I still think, more so than anyone I've ever worked with before, Alex has more balance, and it's actually changed a little bit my thought of what's possible as an athlete. And I think with, like you said, Sev, that like we've seen what's happened with, some of the elite, especially elite, female, but even on the male side too, elite athletes this year, with burnout and with this pressure that's been put on them. And, I'm not sure that I felt like it couldn't be like that. I felt like that it has to, you see the
almost
greatest
like it's an enemy in the room, huh, Justin? That had to be like, you have to watch it with the pressure, like make sure it doesn't take over.
Yeah. And I think there can be a level of balance, more so than even I was willing to admit. I still think there has to obviously be, you have to be devoted, right? You have to be devoted. You have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined more than motivated, because motivation goes out the window sometimes. Like, you've got to be disciplined. And I think there's a level of that, but I don't think that you have to turn it into this 400-pound elephant on your shoulder, that's like, fuck, if I don't do this today, I'm not going to be the best. Fuck, if I don't do this today, I'm not going to be the best. I think sometimes you'd be like, you know what? I need to go on a fucking hike, and I need to tell coach today I need to go on a hike. And you know what? I'm going to be back in it tomorrow, and that's cool. And I think that there's something to it, and it's, I don't know that I would have said that, 8 months ago.
What happened? Did DeLugos get stressed out? Can you talk about him at all?
Al, I mean, you probably.
I can chime in. Yeah. I mean, like, I'll let him tell his own story, right? Like, I'm sure if you want to have him on.
Yeah.
But from like a friend perspective, I think maybe he obviously, like, the games is a big goal, right? Like, you want to make it to the games, and there's a ton of roadblocks along the way. Like, maybe you don't do as well in a competition, or training feels like hit or miss. And I think with Matt, like, some of those things happened, and then you start to question, like, am I doing the right things? Am I in the right place? And so I think for him, it's just been like a big year of like kind of reevaluating everything that he's doing and deciding like what he wants. Like, I don't know if he knows exactly what he wants or like where he wants to be. And
Is he still training?
I think so. I mean, I haven't trained with him in a long time, but he said he's working out at a different gym, and just kind of going back to the basics. And yeah, like, he sounds like he wants to come back and compete, obviously, like maybe next season, but he's kind of like a lone wolf right now. Like, it's hard to keep up a little bit.
Is the wound from Danielle, or maybe wound's not even the right word, but from is the Danielle whole saga behind you guys? Is that all? Has the gym completely gotten past that?
I mean,
I think so.
yeah, I think it's in the past for sure.
I think it was relatively quick, honestly. I mean, I think it was a good separation for both parties. And I think for us, there was this, like, we felt like we could breathe a little bit better when the whole thing happened. I think same for her. And obviously she's going to be, listen, she's a fucking great athlete. She's going to be successful for our culture and for what, we want to build in the gym and what works for us. It was a good separation.
Alex, do you feel like you're getting more out of Cotler with Danielle gone? More out of
Is
Justin?
it bad to say yes? Sorry.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, and Justin and I had this conversation the other day, and like, I was always okay with like when Carrie and Danielle and Bethany were all there, like, I understood, like, they were at the top of the totem pole, and like, I was there to soak up what I could and just kind of like follow them around like puppy dogs. And like, so I understood if Justin wasn't like watching me 24/7, right? Like, that's kind of just the way it is. And so
Right.
I don't want to say like I paid my dues, but I feel like I spent a lot of time just like being okay with that. And so like, now that like I do get that time to like have more one-on-one time with Justin, and like I kind of get the priority, like, that's a cool feeling. And
it
so
is, you paid your dues,
yeah.
and there is a hierarchy, and there is and life is not fair.
Absolutely.
And we had Tyson Bagent on here, the greatest maybe quarterback ever in high school and college history, and now he's on the Chicago Bears, and no one even fucking looks at him. There's a fucking legitimate NFL quarterback in the room, and he's like, wow, I've never been like that, where I'm usually the whole team was focused on me, and now I'm just the dude, just another dude in the room. And it's like, hey, you kind of have to pay your dues. Maybe you don't even get good if you don't start with that humility, right?
Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't a bad thing. Like, it just was
No.
more like, I don't expect him to see every lift I do, especially if I'm lifting at the same time as Carrie and Bethany and Danielle, and like, especially like leading up to the games. Like, when I first asked to work with Justin, it was after semifinals, and he was like, sorry, like, I can't take anyone on right now. Like, I have these 3 athletes, and like, we got to make it through the games.
What year was that, Alex?
2021.
Okay.
And like, I understand that, like, it's like, it is what it is, and I think coming from sports, like, you understand more the like business side of it rather than like taking it personal.
And I think we see that, right, in professional sports, like you just said, that, but what I applaud Alex for is the fact that there are a lot of athletes that wouldn't have been able to deal with that. There are a lot of athletes that would have been like, fuck, he's not paying attention to me, I'm going somewhere else. And I think she felt like this was the right place, and that she was in the right, the right situation. And, she did wait her turn, and I feel like now it's paid off. And obviously, I think our relationship is fantastic and has grown into this really special bond. And, I feel very blessed, obviously. And I feel honored to be her coach. But at the same time, I feel like, what happened and the way that it happened I think was the correct way. Like it was the proper path. Me telling her initially, listen, I can't take you on right now. I have to wait till after, you know, the games 2021. I'm focusing on these athletes. Not fair to you, but come and train. You know what I mean? You're going to soak up so much from these fucking monsters. You know what I mean? Like come and train. Don't worry about whether you and I have that thing yet. Come and train. The environment is going to level you up. And it did. And then eventually, you know, we are where we are, which is pretty
do you
damn
think
good.
Alex would be where she's at today if so all those girls are gone, ironically, right? Danielle's gone, Bethany's gone, and Carrie's gone. It's kind of weird. You would think that would make it, the conventional wisdom might be, well, Alex would suffer because of that, because she has no one to compete against, but she's actually flourishing, right?
But I think having them to go against for that period of time, right? Now she's on that level, and we've got others behind her that are coming up, you know, and we've got, you know, foreign athletes that come in to be able to level up. So I think it was the environment initially, and now I think she's reached a level where, you know, now you can speak about her in those, you know, with that level of athlete. I mean, she just won a fucking North America semifinal. I mean, that's pretty big time, you know.
It's crazy.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's
Sevan, do you want to know why I really wanted to win?
Tell me.
Because I was promised a steak dinner.
That's true.
By Justin?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you collected?
No, not yet.
No, whenever she wants, I'm making. So I like to cook. It's one of my things. Susan got to come and have some steaks.
Delicious. Yes.
So I said to her, if you win, I was like, I'll take you. We'll go to any steakhouse in the city. And she was like, no, I want you to cook. Oh, jeez, my little guy's here.
That's fine. It's fine.
She was just guy? Like, you know, say what's up. Say
what's up, buddy?
Bro.
Hi, Jaxie.
All right. So I said, but then she was like, no, I want you to cook tomahawks. I was like, okay, we'll cook some tomahawks.
I saw Cotler at semifinals. He is intense during competition, says Wad Zombie, the creator of the Colton Mertens card. Fair enough. He is intense, right, Alex?
Yeah.
You like that? His intensity?
Yeah. We both had like I mean, it makes you nervous. I won't lie, but yeah.
Jake.
I apologize for the audience. We have a pretty superficial group of guys here, but Jake Gazan, Alex is hot as fuck. I apologize, Alex. But it's how we roll on the show.
It's okay. He already told me. He's like, I'm gonna comment and stuff. I was like, okay.
It's just a bunch of dudes here just checking out chicks and Cotler. There is a so Dave Castro's coming back, and you did the podcast with with Lauren Khalil, and you expressed some concerns about Dave being back. Did he block you on Instagram?
But yeah, like 5 years ago. Still been blocked. Yeah.
I'll text him.
It's hilarious. It's not about that. And I think people misunderstood, not misunderstood, but I think.
Okay, let me just say this real quick. You know, I love Dave to death, right?
Of course
like
I
he's
do.
my ride or die.
Yeah,
okay,
and I get it. And that's totally cool.
Okay,
and listen,
when I first heard you, I was like so
pissed
angry, and I was like,
off. Oh my God,
God damn it.
Fucking Cotler.
I'm so defensive.
People are so mad
I was pissed
at me.
At Rich too.
A lot of people are mad at me.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the deal, and I think like because then I listen to Get With The Programming, and I love those guys. Listen, Chase and Bill are my dudes, but I think they misinterpreted. I don't know whether it was me because they never said me per se, but I felt like they were like, I want this kumbaya thing where everyone gets along. And I mean, you know my personality. That's not the case. I don't give two shits about whether the athletes like Dave or not. Okay. That's not my concern. What I want for people to be able to express. And when I say people, how Dave runs, here's the deal. When I used to coach classes, okay, back in my affiliate, and I would run, and it's a very different situation, obviously, what he's doing running the CrossFit Games. But, you know, I would say to people, this is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship. The way that I run my class, the way that I want things done, okay, and I get that we need somebody with a strong hand, and I understand that about Dave, okay. What I am concerned about, and in the past, what I have had issues with, is that if an athlete or a coach or a manager or someone who loves the sport, who's close to the sport, expresses an opinion, you want to be able to express the opinion without feeling like you're going to be blacklisted or disrespected.
Oh,
And I
Alex
felt
is
like,
fucked at the games this year. She's probably gonna her locker room's probably gonna be like a bathroom.
You know,
really
it's
fucked her.
and listen, you can block me on Instagram. I wear it with a badge of honor. But my thing was like, I expressed an opinion about how shitty the appeals process is, which it still is. It's fucking terrible. Okay. And I got blocked. And I was like, really? Like, we can't have here's the deal. I root for the Miami Hurricanes. You root for the Florida Gators. I fucking want to kill you on the day that they're playing. You and I can get on a soapbox and say different things. But you know what? At the end of the day, we can still go out and get a beer and disagree about 97 things. Okay. But but we both love the sport. We both want to see the sport take off. We want to see the methodology continue to grow. I want more opportunities for athletes and coaches and managers and bigger sponsors in the sport. I want people to make fucking millions of dollars so that in 20 years, this thing is flourishing. Okay. That's my thing. If Dave can do that for us, amazing. All right. I hope so. I hope that's the case.
Even if he pisses you off along the way.
If he pisses me off, it's fine. But I still want to be able to express my opinion without feeling like, like I'm going to get blocked or I'm not going to get be able to watch somebody at the games, or I'm going to have, like, just let's have a fucking, let's talk. That's all I care about. You can say I'm an asshole. You can disagree with me at the top vehemently. I'm fine with that. I have no issues with that. But at the same time, we should all still be able to express. The people who've been with this sport for a long fucking time have value to bring. Okay. And he doesn't necessarily have to agree with it. But in my opinion, there should still be a vehicle to listen. And in the past, I have felt like that wasn't the case. And that is what I was concerned about. But here's the deal. Mm-hmm. If there have been many people who I've listened to, including you and including Chase, including Bill, including, others who have said that, yeah, there are stories and there are people who have said that in the past, but that they think that there has probably been a bit of softening or a little bit of a change with what's happened over the years with Dave. And I hope that's the case. And here's the deal. I'm gonna, while I have my opinions, I hope he succeeds. If he succeeds, we all succeed. Right. What the fuck? People think I'm against Dave.
Let me ask you something really poignant. Are you glad he's back? Let me ask you this. Are you glad he's back? I think there's part of me that's concerned about it because I believe that over the last year and a half, we've had more an open line of communication that we've never had before. You and him personally? No, not Dave and I got like we dap it up when we see each other and things like that. But I don't even think Dave has any fucking clue about what happened 5 years ago with me. I'm insignificant. No, he probably doesn't. Shit. Of course he doesn't. Probably because he's blocked 5,000 people. Of course he has. Yeah. Of course he has. And I don't have a problem with that. So I think that there's a part of us, a part of this that needs, and like Jason said in Talking Elite Fitness, I get it. There's a part of this that needs like that Dana White figure, right? Yeah. Who you're like, this fucking guy's an asshole, or I love to hate this guy, or this and that. Right. Like, that's fine. We know that someone's in control. Yes. We just understand that. It's like being around your kids. It really is okay if you fuck up as a parent. You don't want your kids to see you out of control. Kids feel safe when fucking someone's in control, and that's what keeps them free. And I think that's a perspective that maybe I didn't think of when I initially said what I said, in the sense of, the actual business side, the people behind the scenes, the whole CrossFit HQ crew, right? Like, you're bringing up an important point, which is essentially like they have a leader that they will follow, that they respect, and they also fear, which in a lot of ways is okay. That's okay to have that. But from my perspective, at the end of the season, if there's a bunch of fucked up shit, right, and the PFAA wants to have a meeting where we want to come and say, hey, listen, these are our opinions, this and that. I also want there to be an open line of communication where we feel like we can come and say, hey, this was fucked up, this was fucked up, this was fucked up, without the fear of being like, you know what, fuck you, I don't want to listen to you, block. You know what I mean? Or fuck you, I don't want to listen to you. Hey, and you know what? And that is fair. Thank you. That is fair, and there was some of that going on. There was that going on. We were when I worked at HQ, we were a fucking gang. Right. Yeah, we were a fucking gang for sure, and I fucking loved it. With us, the gang. With us or against us. That being said, it would, and I posed this to Rich too. It would hurt your feelings if Dave said to you, if Dave said to Alex, what you said to the community about him, meaning if he said to Alex, hey, I'm concerned with you going with Cotler because X, Y, and Z, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Just
Yeah.
like if he would have picked some shit, it would have fucking hurt you.
For sure.
And so just me just being just a huge fucking diehard ride or die with Dave, it just hurt me.
Okay.
I don't hurt.
think
kind
that's
of
fair.
just
I
hurts
know, I
kind of.
think
I
that's
don't know if that's
fair.
the right way to word it.
was, but
I felt like my
Sevan,
vagina quiver. Sorry, Alex. Sorry.
it's not
Felt my
like,
labia
it
majora
has-
kind
it's
of
not
twitch a little bit when I
personal.
said that.
That's the thing. It's not
Yeah.
personal. And
Yeah.
maybe it felt
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah,
I get
totally
it.
felt personal.
Yeah, I get
like,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
personal.
I'm
My concern was that for the growth of the sport, I think there has to be open communication between HQ and between the leaders of the coaches and the athletes.
So not even like
and
do what we want, but just at least listen.
Fuck no. He's not going to
Yeah.
do what we want the
But
majority
just
of the
listen.
time.
Just
And
let
that's
people
fine.
Right. Okay.
Listen, but in any other sport, right? I mean, and people are going to say, oh, well, like the Players Association ruined this thing and ruined that thing. Yeah, you know what? Did it? Because all those fucking guys are making a shit ton of money and the person who's 40th or 50th in the world's a millionaire in basketball and baseball and football and this and that. I hope that we get to that point one day where we get the person who's the 40th, 50th ranked CrossFitter in the world who doesn't have to fucking coach 25 classes. And that's my personal belief. That doesn't have to be somebody else's.
Right.
I want to see the sport grow. I don't want it to be a niche. I want it to be a fucking household name. Like that's my hope, but so my thing with the whole thing was I just hope that there is that open line of communication. That to me, and that I never felt like was there, when Dave was in power.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with Dave personally. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot that Dave doesn't let us know about him personally, his family and those things. And that's fine. He has a persona. I got no problems with that. I want to make sure that at the end of the day that the athletes, the coaches, the people who are also influential in the sport can feel like they can say something without fear of repercussion only for expressing opinions. This is America. Like I should be able to say what the fuck I want to say. You know what I mean? Without fear of repercussions. Now, of course, we know that's not realistic right now in this culture.
Right.
But like, I just feel like, at the end of the day, I express concerns and I'm not going to be like, this is a kumbaya, Dave's coming back, everything's fucking great. Like, no, that's not what I have concerns about it. But do I think he can succeed? Of course, I think he can succeed. I would say that in CrossFit's the heyday of the sport, Dave was the guy. Like I think if you go back and you look at when the heyday was really in popularity and that stuff, Dave was the guy. He was the guy. But I also feel like with that being said, that we can get there and beyond with a little bit softer level of understanding with people. That's all I'm saying.
To put it in perspective too, just so people know, and I say this, I think with not as a metaphor, but literally he was on the battlefield with guns, possibly killing people weeks and months between also dealing with the athletes.
Yep.
And he is a hardened man without a fucking doubt who takes things very, very seriously. So, and now, we're 15 years from those daily activities that he was involved in while he was also running the CrossFit Games. It was actually quite crazy. What do you think about, let me ask Alex. Alex, do you ever watch Dave's Week in Review?
Dave's what?
Week in Review. Do you ever watch that?
There you go. That's
I'm gonna
that's
go
a
with
hard
no.
no.
I don't I feel like I kind of came into the sport obviously I know who he is, like I've seen him in the stuff, but like I've never really talked to him. Like I don't have any sort of personal, I just don't really know him.
Oh, you don't? Okay. So what do you think about this? What do you think about the fact that one of the complaints back in the day was the fact that like, hey, why do we have to follow Dave on Instagram to get information? Why do we? But that's going to come back. It's going to come back to his Instagram and now his.
I like
YouTube.
the hints.
Well, I won't be able to follow, so you'll have to let me know what he says.
I'm going to text Dave right now.
Get this man unblocked.
No, one of my first favorite memories, like when I first started CrossFit and I had a fat crush on Jake, was like the hints would come out for the open. And that would be like my excuse to text him, what do you think this is? And of course, it didn't mean anything, but that was like every week during the Open, I was like, use that as my excuse to text Jake.
Oh,
I like
awesome.
the hint.
So you use Dave in order to
Yes.
get Jake.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Wad Zombie, the creator of the is Alex have a card?
Yeah. Alex,
Thank
you have
you.
a card, right?
Thank you, Wad Zombie.
No, I don't.
Oh, well, then we need to get you a card.
Creator of the Ben Smith collector's card, Wad Zombie. I'm happy Dave is coming back. I understand Justin Cotler. He should be concerned about whoever they put in that position. Ooh, that's a fucking great point. Especially someone with history. If he isn't, then he's not doing his job. But fuck. Hard to argue with that. Jeff Gassick, great show from everyone today. Always rooting for you, Alex. Justin, underdogs.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Sevan. You're welcome. Does any of the drama, last question about the drama, and then back to some other stuff, back to talking about your body, Alex. Does any of the drama bother you? That when this happens surrounding, like, you know, your coach, is any of it a distraction or bother you? Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Awesome.
I feel like Justin can handle himself. That's fine. I'm not like, I don't know. I don't really care what a lot of people think. Like, I know Justin and I know he's not an asshole. So like, it's fine.
You win semifinals. Does that affect anything? Do any of your sponsors, like if one of you spend you like a special, like a bouquet of roses, or a new sponsor reach out to you, or Jake get out of bed when he farts now? Like anything change?
He keeps the covers down.
Yeah, he keeps the cover. He doesn't Dutch oven you anymore. Yeah. He fans it from the bottom instead of the top.
Man.
Sorry.
I'm waiting to like see him chime in. Like, I still do that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Nothing
Any
like
immediate
that,
like.
nothing that crazy. A couple of my contracts, like my clothing sponsor, like qualifying to the games, like it essentially is like secured for another year. So that means like I'm with them for another year and a half, and there was like a couple podium bonuses which I didn't know, so that was cool. But nothing
in your contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
But nothing catastrophic. Like, it wasn't like I woke up on Monday morning with like 5 messages like, we want to sign you. It's just like that stuff takes time, and unfortunately, like, because our sport is small, a lot of it's based off social media, and I don't really have a big one, so just taking my time with it, and I'm not stressed about it. It'll come eventually.
Yeah, totally. But the truth is that people want to be around winners, right? And not only winners, but people who have kind of this it quality. You know what I mean? So even though maybe the greatest example in our sport, I think, is Josh Bridges, right? Maybe he didn't win the games, but he had it. And I feel like you're starting to cultivate that. Like, there is a, I mean, just to keep talking about the bench press, but the bench press is like, is now fun, a fun Alex Gazan folklore. Same with, you know, like Colton Mertens' whole thing. You know what I mean? You get these people, and they're like these anomalies. Ideally, you want to be in or Jason Kleba's arms, right? Obviously, Jason Kleba also won the CrossFit Games, but there are these characteristics about certain of the athletes that they can like parlay into more than. They get so much out of themselves more than just winning, right? The audience really, they become endearing to you.
Totally.
And you got it. She got it, right, Cotler?
What I love is it like she's like, yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I think so. Like, that's just Alex. Like, she's just, you know, and yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question. You know, she's I think people are also really amazed by incredibly superhuman things, right? Like, when people get outliers that can do, like you talked about Colton, there are certain things that Colton does, like what he did with Linda at semis, which you just watch and you're like, oh my God, like, this guy, he broke the workout, right? Like, this guy, he broke. And Alex has those things, you know, she has a few of them, and it's not normal, you know, where you see people who are like really good at a bunch of stuff, but they're not necessarily just like incredible at one. People love when someone's just it doesn't. And that's when you get like, oh, she must be on steroids because she's, you know, no girl can bench press 270. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, that's fine. But if you knew back in the day, she fucking bench press 225 in high school. She just can bench. Like, that's the way it is. Or like You watch her legless rope climbs and they're faster than the guys. Like she just has the best legless rope climbs in the world. Like that's just the way it is. I don't know why. I can't take credit for it. I mean, I remember the first training session she ever did with Carrie where they both did legless rope climbs and that was the one thing where I like looked over and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I think her legless rope climbs are actually faster than Carrie's. And she was, I think 18 or 19 at the time. And I was like, who the fuck is this? But everything else was not very good, So it was like, okay, I didn't think that much about it, but I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. And they've just continued to get better. There are certain things that I think we as fans like love about the person who is the king at something, right? Like Usain Bolt running a, low nines in the 100 meters, or this person who's really
Danny
good.
Spiegel or Guy.
Correct.
Or these, we all get excited when they take the floor.
We
And they're
geek
about
out about that
up.
stuff.
Yeah.
100%.
Alex, the snatch event at semifinals is not indicative of your snatching ability, right? Although it's not your strongest suit, 165 is not an appropriate lift for you, and you could have gotten 185, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that a correct characterization, Cotler?
Yeah, her snatch is much better than that, but I also think that if we're being honest, if we want to talk about that would definitely be a weakness right now. I mean, she snatches 192, but I think consistency and confidence with that lift right now are probably still something that's not, but we're talking about, when she started with us, it was at 155, I think her max, and now at 192 in less than 2 years. And I would assume in the next 2 years that it will be a strength, and she'll be, you'll probably see that she'll snatch 210, 215. She has that capability. I just think we've got to get there. And I think what happened there was, she freaked out. She missed the first lift. She freaked out. It was a little bit of a sign of immaturity and a little bit of sign of lack of confidence with the lift.
What's that look like? She freaked out. What's that look like?
Oh, I know it. I see it. I see it weekly.
What is that? What's that look like, Alex? What does that mean? You freaked out?
It's not like, I guess maybe what it sounds like. I'm not like, oh fuck, like, and like freak out.
You don't run out to
the.
You don't run out the exit screaming.
Throw your belt.
It's probably more like a look of panic and like,
Yeah.
So you were panicked when you missed the lift?
Yeah. Well, also like warm up wasn't like the best in the back. Like I felt like I had a lot more misses than normal, and I was like, okay, like whatever. And then we went to the corral, and I hit my opener like 3 times. So I hit like 165, like back, and no misses. I was like, okay, like we reeled it back in, like it's okay. And then I missed it, and then I was like, and I think my problem was I didn't think of like one thing to like calm myself down, or like, okay, just think of like finishing your pole, or think of staying over the bar. Like I think my brain just started going like scatterbrain, and so then I was just like yanking the bar off the floor and not even really thinking very much, just throwing the weight around, and it was not very successful.
Let me contextualize your snatch to see if this is correct. There's people who just they're just fucked. Like Colton's always gonna need 5 pulls to get to the top of the fucking rope climb. Sam Briggs is just not built to fucking be strong. Laura Horvat is getting the upside down thing is just in deficit is just like, hey dude, that's gonna be your issue. The snatch is not that for Alex Gazan.
No.
The snatch, it's totally like that's not. There's no roadblock there. There's just work that needs to be done. There's no like
and like I'll own
physical
it. Like
hey, it just Colton is 5'4". It's just the way it is. It's not like that. It's like Alex has everything she needs. She just needs to go practice snatching.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
1000%.
God, that's awesome. Does she have any holes like that? She have any like, oh, she's fucked, she sinks to the bottom?
No. And I think what's interesting is,
so she could be games champ. Alex can be games champ.
I think so.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can say
so hard.
It's
so
really
hard.
fucking hard. I mean,
so
I could say that probably about, 8, maybe 8, 5 to 8 girls right now. And then, I mean, obviously throwing Tia back in the mix, throwing Mal back in the mix, but I would say that about 5 to 8 girls right now that I could probably say that over the years. The thing about Alex is she's only 21. And I think we're not trying to rush that. I have like this definitive, plan in my mind of like, okay, we're covering certain things. You can't do it all at once. You know what I mean? Like this year, her running has gotten much, much better. She's got a sub 6 mile now, right?
Wow.
Like that
Wow.
wasn't the case. You know, her swimming is getting a lot better. You know, now we've got to work more on like classic CrossFit stuff. She's not great at classic CrossFit, you know, classic couplets, triplets, Fran type workouts, right? That people, I think, just most like even everyday CrossFitters are like, oh, I'm really love Fran. I love this. Like she likes the heavier, harder skill type things you see at the games. But, you know, the 1 or 2 workouts that come out at the games that are like that are probably still not great. So these are things we've got to work on, and that takes time. So you look at those things, and over the next season, we'll start to fix those things. And then 2 seasons, we'll fix those things until you become bulletproof. There haven't been a bunch of bulletproof athletes in this sport. In my opinion, there have been 2 where you look at them and you're like, they don't have any weaknesses. Matt and Tia are the only 2 in the history of the sport. And you know, I think
what was Rich's weakness?
Well, when Rich was an individual running and swimming, now he's much better at swimming. He's an incredible swimmer now. His knees aren't great, so I would say running is probably still not that fun for him. But those were the big 2, you know, for Rich. I mean, think about like 333s back in the day, and you know, but Rich was it was interesting because Rich was like that guy that fell from the top of the rope. He had this human thing about him that made I think people love him, and Matt was a cyborg. He got to the point where Matt won by hundreds of points, you know, and Tia too, where it was like, fuck, this thing's over, you know, but before it even started, it was over. And I think, but I do think like, you know, and it's a lot, and I'm not trying to put a lot of pressure on Alex. I'm just being honest. I just think she has the ability to be bulletproof eventually, where there's no holes. She'll still have her home runs, but then the things that used to be holes will now just be, she'll be good. You know, she'll be good at
that. It's all accessible to her. You don't see any limitations.
Correct.
Alex Gazan, first place. Katrin David's daughter, second place. Ariel Lowen, third. Christine Kohlenbrander, Bethany Flores Shadburn, Emily Rolfe, Olivia Kerstetter, Abigail Donut, Bailey Rail, Kelly Baker. Donut. I just like saying the word donut. Have you met her? Have you met this girl? Either of you? This Abigail girl?
I haven't met Abigail. I know her coach. Yeah. He's great. But I don't know. I don't know her. But obviously, hey, she qualified for the game. She must be a fucking beast.
Yeah, crazy.
Alex, you have this list printed out at your house, like in your bedroom, and you're just like staring at all those girls each day and just being like,
no,
I'm going to do it again.
No.
What does it mean to you, Alex, to win? To ask the cheesiest question I've ever asked on the show. What's it mean to you to win? Nothing.
I mean, like, it's like a huge, like.
It's fine if it's nothing. It's like, fuck you, nothing.
No, like, competitive wise, like, it's like, yeah, you work hard.
$18,000, whatever they paid me. That's what it means to me.
No, they didn't pay you that much. No, like, you want to win.
$4,400.
But then it starts over. Like, you enjoy a couple days of like being excited, and then the work, like, you're back to work. Like, winning semifinals doesn't mean you automatically get a spot at the game. It's like, that means you made it to the games, and now you have to work hard to like do well at the game. So I was excited about it, and now it's just like motivation for training.
Is your life partitioned at all, Alex? Like, I don't have there's Saturdays and Sundays, and none of that shit matters to me. Like, it's just the days just go for me. There's no, like when you're in school, there's a Saturday and Sunday. Or is your life partitioned at all, or no? It's just every day is just another day.
Yeah, the days of the week get jumbled up for me. I mean, like, Jake sometimes comes home on like a Sunday, and that's like exciting. Then he'll come to the gym for a while, but like, otherwise I couldn't tell you if it's Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll tell you if it's like snatch day or clean and jerk day.
Basically, there's no, your life's not compartmentalized, right? Your life is just one whole, like, you know what I mean? Like someone who works at 7-Eleven, they probably like Monday through Friday they work, and then there's the weekend where they get drunk and watch football. Your life's not like that. It's not
I think
compartmentalized.
Like, on the balance side of things, like what we were talking about earlier, it's not like I have the balance where I'm like, oh, like I'm going to stay up till 12 because it's Friday night. It's not like that. It's like,
right.
I think it's the mental side of things. Like, I still put in all the physical, like, things that have to be done. Like, you eat the food, you avoid like donuts all day, whatever the case. But like, it's like having the mental balance of knowing like, if I couldn't do CrossFit in 2 years, like I'm going to be okay. Like if I got hurt, like as much as I'd be devastated, like I have at least like relationships and things to fall back on where like, I'm not like, oh fuck, I'm not a CrossFit Games athlete. Like, what am I? Does that make sense?
100%. You know, it's funny. Rich was saying on some podcast, don't get it twisted. Any CrossFit Games athlete who thinks they're going to become rich doing CrossFit and then sail into the sunset, you're totally wrong. And I remember that was Matt Fraser's plan. And he has done the exact opposite of that. His plan was to win a bunch of games and vanish and never be seen. And now look at him. Now he's fucking selling protein powder to the fucking company and fucking coaching fucking champions. It's like he did everything the opposite of what he thought. Because you have to, if you're going to, I mean, maybe he loves it too, but you have to. It's not like that. You're not in the NBA, right?
Yeah. And I think you have to love it, right? Because it's not like a cash cow. It's not an automatic ticket to success. So you have to like it. If you don't, like, then you're wasting years of your life, like suffering in training, being miserable outside of training because you're not happy. Like that doesn't sound fun. No,
I agree. Alex, show us your guns. Top 5 at the game, Sevan said so. Yeah,
I didn't see that was Jake, and I was like, what the heck?
Jake, I know I owe you a phone call too, by the way. You're still you're top on my list to call. Jake and I have been texting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, do you have a either of you have a plan for where you'd like to finish at the games? Do you even think like that?
I want to finish in the top 10.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Justin, do you even think like that?
No, because I think I'm not, again, I think with Alex, I think at semifinals, it was easy for me to say, not easy for me to say, but I truly believed, hey, you can win. And I don't necessarily want to put a number there because I actually don't want to create limitations for her at the games. I just think she goes and, I think she can do incredibly well. And the most important thing for me is to get after it and execute and, maximize what we can do on every single event and see where it falls. Cause I think if we do that, she's going to do really fucking well, but do I think right now this year she's going to win the games? No, I don't think so. But do I think she can go there and do some serious damage? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Is crying at the games just normal? Will you just, is there like, will there be just some like you'll eat, you'll work out, you'll poop and you'll cry? Like, is there just like, is crying just part of the,
I didn't cry last year. I cried at semifinals, but I didn't cry at the games.
This year you cried at semifinals?
Yeah. After the snatch event.
Oh, awesome. Wow. Like, do you make like just tears come out or like your like sounds and shit too? Like,
I don't know. I think it's both.
Wow, that's awesome.
Where'd you cry at? Like right there at the venue, like leaving, or do you like wait till you're alone?
Once I got to the warm up area, like once I found Jess, I was like, "Can I be upset? Okay, I'm gonna cry."
Do you start laughing, Justin, or what do you do, or do you like try to like take it serious? And
no, I was pretty pissed off.
You start crying too.
Yeah, I was pretty irritated. No, I wasn't crying, but I was just like, "Oh fuck." Because I, like
you're mad at her, like you're mad.
I wasn't mad at her, but it wasn't mad at her, but I was like, what the fuck, like we practiced this a bunch of times, and you hit 180 plus every time, and it was just one of those things where it was more frustration, but then it was like, okay, like. But she will also tell you that I was, once the points had kind of fallen, into place and we knew where she was, I also looked at her and I was like, put your big girl pants on because we're winning this fucking thing tomorrow. Like, wow. That was it.
Do you say stuff to her like that? You talk to her like that?
Exactly what I said. Yes.
Oh. Yeah, I have the text. It said, go to bed, get ready, we're winning tomorrow.
Hey, do you like it? Would you prefer he squashed his feelings?
No, I like it.
Or you're okay. You're okay with the coach. Because some people might not like that. Some people might not like that.
I like it.
Yeah. You're like, okay. I guess that for sure there's clarification that he's invested in you.
Yeah, and obviously, like when it's like, a shitty situation like the snatch, like you're bummed. But then like when it's like a good situation and like you get the like let's fucking go, like that makes it way more exciting because then it's not like, oh, he says that to everyone, cool, like nice. It's like
Right.
different.
Alex, do you use toe spacers?
Every once in a while.
She
Yep.
smell her toe spacer.
Does Alex smell her toe
Oh,
spacers?
boy.
Do you ever
Wait, do I
them?
smell? Oh no, I don't smell
Smell them.
Sorry.
Sevan smells his toe spacers, and we get updates on how they smell. I'm guessing they smell like yeast again. That was the how are they smelling today?
How they smell, bro?
Ripe.
Pretty good, huh?
Dude, they smell like fucking cheese.
I was gonna say you're gonna hit one of
Nice.
those like right before a set of something. It's
They
like
smell
one
like
of
they
those-
smell like cheese. They smell like Camembert brie. Do you know? Are you familiar with
Oh,
those cheeses?
yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very aggressive cheese.
Yeah, like you open the fridge and you're like, I'm about to eat some crackers and dog shit.
Oh,
Beautiful.
gross.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
thank you so much, both of you guys, for coming on. I appreciate it. I should change this because I had Rich on before. I should change the title of this episode to People Who Hate Dave.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it before. I said you children, but does Rich have an issue? I didn't see.
He basically had he came out kind of hard on. I think he came out kind of hard on Dave too, the same way you did, and so. And it's kind of funny. It wasn't planned to have both of you guys on the show at the same time. It just worked out that way with scheduling. And so I was like concerned. I was like, fuck, do I have to like not be friends with Rich and Cotler? That sucks.
Sorry, bro. I'm sorry you had so much stress to deal with.
Hey man, it's
Oh,
just
man.
fucking it's just
Been
the
a
life
rough
of
week, guys. Been a
a
rough week.
51-year-old dude with daddy issues.
I
as
think it
someone
worked
said in
out
the
well, though.
comments.
Well, I
Oh, it
think
worked
we
out great. I
figured it
fucking
out.
love you guys.
Okay,
I
yeah.
fucking love you guys.
Thanks.
And we'll get you on block too. That's
Hey,
the hope.
at the end of the day, I mean this from the fucking bottom of my fucking heart. It's an honor and my privilege, and I'm so lucky that you guys will take time out of your day to come on my show. You guys make my show. Without me, it's me and Susie here, like talking about boobs. So I really appreciate you guys coming and adding value to my life, my family, and to the show. So thank you.
Anytime,
bro.
it's always fun.
Yeah. Thanks for
All right, guys. We're rooting for both of you. Huge fan. The show's a huge fan of Alex Gazan and Underdogs
Thank you.
Athletics. Tell Matt DeLugos I said hi. I've been thinking about him. And I wish all you guys the best.
Thanks,
Yeah,
brother.
you should reach out. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
I will. Absolutely, I will. And tell Jake I owe him a call and to keep bugging me. I do want to work with him at the games.
Just give him my number.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I should do that. Just give him Susan's number. All right.
See you, Madison, guys.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
All right.
The great Alex Gazan and Justin Cotler. They definitely don't smell like smelling salts. They definitely don't. Oh, man. Sevan has huge daddy issues. I really don't. I mean, maybe I do, but I'm pretty loyal. I saw what he's capable of. And I just hate to see it misrepresented. But
Yeah, you
but
were
I,
up close. Saw it
Yeah.
close.
I hate to see it misrepresented. I did text Dave. I said, "Can you unblock Justin Cotler at Justin Cotler?"
Hey, you really think that though? Like
Oh.
after what?
The farm people said I didn't miss the window to come see their farm. You have until
yeah.
the end of August. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. You think that that Dave's after he got fired from CrossFit and stuff like that, when he came back, there was like an intentional, for lack of better words, like softening of his image? I feel like
No.
he's more open.
No.
now.
No, I do. I do think this.
Am I wrong? Am
I
I
have
off
I have no proof of this, but I do think that when he was fired, it came totally out of left field and he didn't see it happening.
Yeah, like he just got
And
fucking
so,
excited about
Yeah,
it.
and I do think it fucking I don't know what the word is. I hate to use the word humbled because the haters say he's arrogant, so I don't want to say it humbled him, but fuck
Right.
it, I think it humbled him. But I do think he's a very intense character. He's been through fucking a lot of shit. I hope one day he comes out, like even his childhood is fucking nuts, dude, that no one ever talks about. Nuts.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. There's so much to
Absolutely
Dave
nuts.
that we
Yeah.
don't actually know, right? Like there's
And
so
he's
much.
done so much, yeah. And I just we really flourished as a team with him there, with Greg with the vision and Dave with the fucking leadership. I mean, we fucking flourished.
Yeah.
I mean, he
He's a
fucking
guy-
taught me so much. It's like,
he has
oh,
this
there, here it
weird-
is. Sleeky says it, and Sleeky knows too. Sleeky has a lot of experience with HQ. I don't think it was intentional, but I think it happened naturally. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
It
that's a
just
fair response.
seems like it has, but he has this allure like you don't want to let him down. Like when we were at the ranch the other weekend and I went to take out the trash, I like grabbed it and I'm like, all right, so where does this go? And he's like, in that truck, but the truck's leaving. And it was like way past the parking lot on the other side. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make it to the truck. And so I hucked the big ass bag of that trash over and I huffed it out there and like stopped the guy. And he's like, give me this, like, what the fuck? And it was funny because I came back and I was talking to Jay about it. And I was like, yeah, there's two things that are either gonna happen. I was either gonna catch that truck, the truck, and throw it in there, or I was gonna put this in the trunk of my car. Either way, I wasn't gonna come back to Dave and be like, I still have the trash, I fucked up.
Did you make it?
I made it. Yeah.
Oh, Dave has chimed in. I have no. Oh, that's a great photo of you, Dave. Good job. I have no recollection of blocking Cotler. Don't care if I did. Honestly, it's time to move forward. Let's focus on the games. That would be fucking hilarious. Dave, Dave, talk to me. I have some better pictures of you that you can use. All right. I have to pee.
Yeah, that's a good run this morning. It's kicked off this week strong.
Is that today's Monday?
Today is Monday.
I shot up the BPC 157 with Andrew last night. We FaceTime.
What's the short-term result?
I sat on the floor.
Any difference? Yeah.
No. He said it might feel bruised there. I'm telling you, dude. You know what is kind of scary? That's the first. I've never injected myself with anything.
Yeah, either have I can't. I mean, you guys know what happens with me with needles.
Dude, you would have no issue with this, dude.
You think so?
Dude, I cannot fucking believe how tiny the needle is. I pushed it in all the way. I pushed it until it fucking hit the plastic thing. Until it hit the.
You didn't feel it?
No, I mean it's the smallest prick. It's the smallest prick.
Like when they get
it's like the size of probably Eric Rose's prick. I mean, it is tiny. It is tiny.
Oh,
yeah, look at those insulin needles are nothing. Yeah. And he told me to use 25 or 15, whatever. The dose was 15 and I plunged it to 25. I put in almost double. And
just came in hot, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Tiny. I don't even know if a pinch is the right word. But basically, this is what I can tell you. But basically, it makes me want to just like start shooting up everything now.
Like you just that was it. That was the buried edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was like, wow, that's easy. I want to get all the peptides now.
I'm in deep. Let's go.
I know. It was kind of crazy. It wasn't a yeah, it wasn't cool. It wasn't like, it's kind of weird how I realized how easy it is. And I'm like, fuck.
Wait, Dana M has video footage of me taking out the trash.
Oh shit. So they were there and they filmed it from there. That's awesome. Send it over.
That kind of,
hey, I was going to do it live. And then Susan and I had a talk and we decided not to. Yeah. I'm afraid even just showing these needles or talking about it, I don't even know what happened to it, but even showing the needle could get me kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah.
I really don't want to get kicked off of YouTube.
And for the record, you were totally like game for it, but after we talked, you could totally put that on me. I was like, no, sorry. Cannot risk it, guys.
And I really don't want to get kicked off.
Yeah.
Philip, the first time is hot. TRT in my ass. My palms were all sweaty and took me a half hour to build up the courage. Then it was the most anticlimactic thing ever. Well, that's funny because I was FaceTiming with Hiller, and so I kind of had this pressure like to act cool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you didn't want to end up like me on footage about to pass out and having to
Yeah.
give up with letting everybody down.
yeah, exactly. Geez Louise. Yeah, I don't want to be stuck on Rumble forever.
Not yet. Wait
I
till
thought about that too. Do it live on your IG live. But you know what? It was probably good I didn't the first time either, because there were some like mishaps. Like there's this special water, I forget what it's called, anti-static bacterial water or something, but there's a special water you have to put in to the peptides in order to like make it so you could shoot it, because the peptides come to you dry. And when you drip the water into that jar with the peptides, you're supposed to do it really slow, but the plunger wants to shoot the water in there.
Mhm.
And so I had some issues, some water shot out on the floor, and it's like, anyway, it wasn't like I was a little sloppy, so it's better I do another time. Sevan is like, I'm getting all the pep so I can get back on top in tennis. I mean, shit, I'm all juiced up so I could be an 8-year-old.
So why are you doing this? I'm gonna beat my son in tennis, damn it.
It was interesting though that the peptides were legal a couple years ago.
Like in sports and stuff, you're saying?
Yeah. Like even as a CrossFitter, like you could have taken like probably all the CrossFitters were probably taking BPC up until a year ago. Hey, this is why we need to talk to Sarah. What's this picture all about?
Yeah. I'd like to have a little continuity between the website, like us, Hiller, some clips on there. Is that what you're referring to, or you just think like the picture should be different in general?
I just don't understand. It's a bunch of people. It looks like it's a dating. Look at boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy. Like what? And then she's like laughing. It looks like it's a dating website photo, not a. I don't know. Maybe it's just inaccessible. These are like the people who can take peptides. It's supposed to just feel accessible. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they make you feel safe. I don't think you could show either like you can't show like a buff dude or something, I don't think, because then it's like insinuating you're getting that for this.
Oh,
I remember there was some sort of discussion around that. I could be wrong here, but I think that there's a reason why the pictures are the way they are.
okay. God, all these look amazing. Yum juice, peptides. Peptides. It'd be cool to know what all these are.
It looks like an apartment complex ad. That's
Did someone say that? Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Come live here in Los Angeles. Meet other cool people.
Yeah, that's
She's cute as fuck. Seeing her face hella makes me want to shoot up, thinking I could get a girl like her if I use TRT. Pool boy. All right.
There you go. Mike approved.
She kind of looks like the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, like the Incredible Hulk's daughter.
Wow. All those stock photos, I always like wonder who those people are and what they're doing.
Robbie Myers, can I please redo their website? Sure. Go for it.
Get in there, Robbie.
Olivia, I don't know PK. He just PK.
I think she's referring to Philip Kelly.
Oh, I don't know Philip Kelly. He just hands it to me and starts sweating. It's huge compared to my insulin needle. I don't know what you're talking about, but I like it. Why'd I ruin what? I mean, oh, you mean how cute she is? She was cute, and I said she looks like Lou Ferrigno. You kind of see it, right? Incredible Hulk had like the same nose as her. Like it's like I think he's Italian. I don't know. She's still cute. I ain't hating.
I need to do a CA Peptides ad read.
Manny Serrano. Amazing show, gentlemen. Rich, always very cool and inspirational. Hey, I'll tell you what. Having Cotler and Gazan scored. You know why? Right?
Why?
Because they came on after Rich.
Oh, you're saying yes. Yeah.
And the numbers kept going up. They didn't go down.
No, it's going to be a huge show. And he comes first. Yeah.
You think it's been flagged for anything?
I want to say no, but we always do. And I don't know why. No.
No flags?
No flags. No, we're good. I'm
looking. Hey, did you see this short Did you see this short that we put up that kind of makes fun of Talking Elite Fitness?
No.
It kind of made me feel bad.
Is it the newest one that's up right there?
Yeah, kind of made me feel bad.
It's doing well.
It
in our
is.
rankings. Yeah, if you go to the homepage, you can see it.
It kind of. I'm gonna play it for you. I didn't realize I'm such a dick. Listen. Fitness is those people there aren't designed to speculate. That's the Sevan show. That's the Sevan podcast. So you got Sean and Tommy and Lauren and Brian's a little more flexible, but they kind of got their notes up in the air. They're the journalists, and they must do the adequate investigating and curating and aggregating and vetting of so they put themselves in a situation where they couldn't succeed, just like me, John, Tyler, Souza. And I feel bad like I dragged Tyler and do you remember that? I was basically just do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was just talking about how like Brian spins the fastest and Talking Elite Fitness. I thought I actually said something in my memory. I thought I actually said something positive about Talking Elite Fitness. Like I was saying that they were. Oh, I did. Whoever made that clip just made me seem like an asshole.
You think it makes you seem like an asshole? I don't make it.
Well, I'm kind of making fun of them, but really all I was trying to say is that they're not organized. They're overly organized. That they're not flexible and nimble and quick.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the organizations are. And spins the fastest, and this one's kind of supposed to be the funniest and the most intimate, the deepest, and they kind of all have their space, right? Spin gives you the nuts and bolts. Those guys give it fast. Those guys try to give you, the Sports Center look, and this one is like supposed to be the Dr. Drew show. I
mean, when they go out bike riding, got the fancy super like e-bike, and like you and I come through, and like you're pedaling, and like I'm on the handlebars.
Right.
And it's like the beat up
drinking a Budweiser.
Like we got the bike out of like the junkyard or something, and then we catch up to him somehow and they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing over here? Just different.
Oh my gosh, tell me you're not using the same needle to draw as you used to inject on him. Oh, you're talking about those big needles. Yeah, that would be fucking crazy. That big needle's scary. The one that you mix the water with.
Oh, there's two separate ones.
Yeah.
Sounds complicated. But I don't think you sounded like an asshole. And if you watch the context of the whole clip, you definitely give them credit for
a nod
in the space when they do. Yeah.
Okay.
A nod. Yeah.
So no guest tomorrow. Well, as of now, we could have someone.
Tomorrow and Wednesday.
And then Wednesday, Greg was supposed to come on the show, but I don't think he can.
Right.
And then on Thursday, Mariah Moore. I haven't spoke to her in years. I mean, I've occasionally texted with her. But Mariah Moore I used to work at CrossFit together. And she is the creator of the newest documentary that comes out on June 30th, the CrossFit Games doc. I'm going to actually watch that today and screen it. I'm excited.
Nice.
And then on Friday, we have Josh Perrette, the Fluffy Duck guy.
Fluffy Duck, yep.
The only other guy I feel like in the space besides the Sevan podcast that kind of embraces homosexuality and cock and balls, and I feel like we're like the only two that have like
venture into that space.
We're just homo friendly. It's kind of cool. Yeah. We're open. We're inclusive. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like Noble's like straight just has stepped over the line. It's like, hey, dude, you're supporting like pride shit, which has no place in schools, right? Like it's encroached in this world of pedophilia, and I'm being very gentle when I say pedophilia. And then there's other organizations that just won't touch the going back Talking Elite Fitness, the politics. And then there's me and Josh are just like, yeah, fucking whatever. Take a hot tub with a bunch of homos.
Have a good time.
Drink elephant, 3 beers away from doing an elephant walk. At 2.5.
No big deal. Just a Friday.
Yeah. So I'm glad to have him on the show. Big meme account. It's a big meme account, right? Over 100,000 followers. Big. He's funny, creative, puts work in, effort.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
And then Friday, the CrossFit Games video is getting flagged now for sure. Fuck. Because I said homo. Isn't that? I should get a bonus. I should get pushed for that.
Yeah, I think it.
Oh, because I said pedo. Shoot.
No, that's okay. I think that's always. Just refresh the page and it's flagged. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, and then Friday night, it looks like we have we have confirmed Hiller and John Young, and I'm just waiting to hear from Grundler for the CrossFit Games update show. So Brian Spin will be dropping out this week, and it will be and Tyler Watkins will be dropping out, and it will if Grundler doesn't, don't tell Tyler this, if Grundler doesn't come on this Friday,
then Tyler's in.
Then I'll swing to the third tier and I'll get Tyler, the creator of the fantasy fitness app.
Were you thinking about getting some athletes lined up for these shows in the future too, you think? Or are we keeping it just
Yeah, totally.
Like everybody who like just barely missed the cut, we could be like, hey, you guys aren't doing shit. Come on our show. And
Right. Even I would love to have Vellner on, just even for a few minutes, just to come say hi. It's been a while, a minute. Ricky Garrard, whoever.
Vellner's pretty usually easy, like as far as his schedule and stuff. Like he's got the time, he'll jump on with us. Good dude.
Pool Boy, y'all should have a show like that. Sevan Podcast has Shut Up and Scribble in a hot tub with homos. Oh. Fuck. God, dude, if I had more resources, maybe I would do a show like that, hot tub with homos. That would be cool. Oh, it's just me and 4 lesbians.
That's amazing.
I'll come on and host it from my parents' hot tub. We can have Alex Smith and the Fittest Wizard. Oh, shit.
That show would actually be awesome.
No, it would be. All right. Pass on Ricky. No, it's that, but I know but that's the fun part about him. He's dry, but we just have him on for a few minutes, like 10 or 15 minutes. I like Ricky.
Yeah, just a little catch up and then send him on his way.
Cotler has sent the obligatory thanks for having me on. That was sweet. Oh, so is Alex. Shit.
The obligatory?
I'm just joking. You know what I mean? Like whenever someone comes on, then they have to send you a text afterwards saying thanks for coming on.
Oh yeah.
I'll write back. Anytime you two are dope. Oh, what's this? Sevan, the football podcast is only about a month from needing to fire up, but you still haven't even DM'd me about it. Oh, that's funny you say that, especially right. Well, you know what I'm just going to do? I haven't told Sousa this either. Sean doesn't know either, but Sousa probably suspects this. If and when Travis makes it onto the Chicago Bears, I will get the NFL Network package deal. I'll figure out how to watch, and I still will watch all the Chicago Bears games. And my friend Travis says, Tyson's dad said that they have a show where it just shows you the highlights, so you can watch the whole game like in 20 minutes.
NFL Red Zone, I think it's called, or something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then every week have Tyson on and be like, so what happened on the sidelines?
Oh,
like,
dude, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, that'd be real cool.
Yeah. Any of the toilets in the Chicago Bears locker room like overflow? Who has the biggest dong in the locker room? I wanted to ask him that so bad.
Yeah, that's cool. You think he'll still be allowed to do all that stuff like once season starts? You think they're media contracted?
Oh, like he can't go on podcasts?
Yeah, like there's like a certain thing for them. I don't know.
Maybe. I hope not. Hey,
the Bears.
Do you read all of these texts in this semifinal thread?
Yes. Sometimes it takes me a little bit. I usually just let it pile up, and then when I have a time, I'll like scroll up to what I last remember and then read through.
Say that one more time.
I said I'll let it pile up for a while sometimes, and then I'll go to the very top where I last like read, and then I'll make my way through.
Yeah,
which I have to do now because there's a shitload of them that came in starting at 3 in the morning our time. So those haven't been touched yet.
Someone in the thread gave us a compliment on the podcast.
Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, guys. See you tomorrow for the live call-in show. You guys, trying to think if there's anything I want to finish with here. I have to pee, so I can't get settled.
Yeah, I gotta pee too.
Let me see if this is. You want to finish with something crazy? No, that's tomorrow. Let me see. California peptides, transplant, mainstream media, helmet man. If you date a woman like this, she's psycho. Oh, let's see what this is.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is fun. This is kind of cool. Okay, we'll talk about this really quick. Okay. So, I think Jeremy Eat World talked about this. There is a website. So when you date a guy, there's a Facebook page. When you date a guy, you can go on there and find out what other people who've dated him in the past say about him.
Yeah. Are we dating the same guy?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Grace
Hey.
goes on that and like reads all this stuff all the time.
Hey, if you have who does?
Grace.
Oh, I apologize, Grace. Well, at least she's married to you first, so maybe she gets an exemption. If you have a girlfriend who vets you on Facebook, she's a fucking psycho.
Wait, why do you say
Single
that?
guy in the dating market, stop scrolling. There's a secret group amongst women and they're talking about you. It's a Facebook group called Are We Dating the Same Guy? Basically every major city has one. Girls will post a photo of you and say something along the lines of, does anyone have tea?
Right there. They'll post a photo of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, bitch. If any
Fucked
bitch is
up,
fucking
dude.
posting a photo of me on a website to fucking collect the dirt on me, she can go fuck off. I hope the fleas of 1,000 camels infest her armpits and her fucking labia majora tears on her fucking birth. You fucking bitch.
On insert name here. And the comment section is essentially a smear campaign. I found this out through a male friend whose name was dragged in one of these groups. He even has receipts to disprove the things that were being said about him. A couple of reviews were from women he hasn't even met, and he has a voice in none of it. And the best part is women will be kicked out of the group if they defend the man. So even though the intent is to protect girls from getting into potential toxic relationships, the fact that women can just completely lie to ruin the reputation of
And Jeremy's chick was on that fucking site.
the man that they just don't like.
Yeah, it must be all libtards. This is it. That's fourth. Yes. I don't know why, Austin, but this, you fucking nail it. That's 430 credit score behavior. Yes. Heidi Kroom weighs in with Heidi Kroom take 3. Heidi Kroom. Spoken like a dude who has never had to be scared of domestic abuse. That's true. Sorry, Sevan. You're wrong here. Okay. Fair enough. Back to my rant. This is fucking bullshit, guys. If you are dating a bitch who fucking does this, run for the fucking hills. Why does she have to be a bitch, Sevan? Well, because I'm black and I can say that. I speak in the rap vernacular, motherfuckers.
Most toxically feminine thing out there today. Just imagine if men had a group like this. If you're a single guy in the dating market, stop scrolling. There's a secret.
Oh my goodness.
Oh shit. But you're absolutely right, dude. They throw a photo up there and literally...
Yeah, Jeremy's on there. Jeremy is on there. She fucking vetted him. She vetted him on that site.
Dude, it's literally like
black man with giant cock fucks liberal bitches. That's his fucking reputation on there.
Dude, it's open season. They just post it on there and they say, has anybody dated this guy or like blah, blah, blah. And it's just a photo of you. And then a bunch of people will like chime in like, no, I didn't date him, or like my friend did, or whatever. It's fucking hilarious.
Dude, you are never going to find a good guy unless he's gay. Meaning there's dirt on all of us. There's dirt on every single one of us as a boy has done something to some fucking degree. All of us snapped a girl's bra in the 8th grade. Now forever, because I snapped a girl's bra in the 8th grade, I'm fucking doomed on what's the name of this? Datingadvice.com?
It's a Facebook group. Are we dating the same guy?
Are we dating the same guy?
Yeah. Just want to see if you're dating the same guy.
Heidi Kroom. That being said, I'm not in a group like that, but I always do a background check. Fair enough. I love you, Heidi. Now back to what I was saying. fuck.
You don't think it's hilarious? I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious, but it just kind of bums me out that people have to be alive like that today. Sevan, if you're black, then I'm Armenian.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
It depends on how you feel.
If you were raised on fucking tabbouleh and shish kebab, and you have fucking 6 uncles that fucking pinched your cheek so hard you fucking ran for the hills when you saw them, then yeah, you're Armenian. That was my culture.
It's like glass door. You know what glass door is?
No.
It's like so I could go on there and let's say I was gonna work for you.
Oh no, am I gonna hate the word?
CrossFit.
Oh yes.
And then I could type in like your name and like CrossFit, and then people who have, but it's hilarious because it's people who have either like no longer worked there or been fired. So it's like, well, what do you think their fucking opinion's gonna be, right?
Yes.
But I guess you could go on there and like rate your boss, like rate where you worked and all that stuff. So it just reminds me of that, but like for dating.
I just typed in glass door. Oh, glass door CrossFit. I remember that's how I found out about it. Like, of course, we fired like 100 people, and fucking our Glassdoor rating went fucking
dropped. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's like
a layoff.
Yeah,
layoffs or a mass firing, and your shit's fucked.
Oh, working at CrossFit. Oh, that's not bad. Like a 4-star review.
Hey, but know what's crazy about the Facebook?
Oh, but this is for different CrossFit gyms. This isn't. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, they have the like, are we dating the same guy? And there's a photo up there, but the dude's version is, are we banging the same chick?
Oh, is it really?
Oh, not. That'd be awesome. Some guy's like, yeah, I took her out to dinner. And it's like, whoa, you spent that much on dinner? She would have done it regardless.
Oh, man.
Dating these days is wild. You got all these apps and these social medias and shit like that. Remember, you still had to call the house line and be like, hi, Mr. Matosian, is Sevan there? Can I talk to him on the phone? Like, you had to get over that hump. Like, there was that like a huge barrier to entry back then.
Yeah.
Now, nothing. It's frictionless dating. Frictionless.
You just swipe, and 30 minutes later you have your penis balls deep in her.
Yep, and she's posting pictures of you on Facebook asking if anybody
anyone else has been you've been balls deep. I know I'm not supposed to say the word liberal and retarded into one conjugation. Is that, did I use conjugation right? But this is crazy. This is, look at these stalls. Look at these stalls. This is to prevent, look at these stalls.
Are those viewing stalls?
Not the sticky shoes, which is absolutely disgusting. But what are, I don't get this.
The rest of us have to suffer because of drug addicts. They cut these holes in here so that people wouldn't shoot drugs in there.
Help? Yeah. Anybody? Men's bathroom, Seattle Convention Center. I need somebody to explain this to me, please.
God, Seattle is such a shithole. How? For anyone that like, how do you not, how many things do you have to see before you're like, all right, fine, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump? Like, how many things do you have to see?
It's all compassion. Hey, you know what?
What if I could prove to you that the Democrats are an undercover operation for pedophilia? Would that, I'm not saying that they are, but what if I could prove that to you? Would that be enough? Like, what would it take? I just want to know what it would take.
Hey, most people wouldn't matter, dude. They're like,
it wouldn't matter
in their identity. No.
Like, where do you draw the line? Like, where are you like? What if 7 Venezuelan immigrants came across the border and raped your wife and your daughter because the border was open under the Democratic Party? Would that 12 Haitians raped your kids who came across the open border? Would that then you'd be like, okay, fine, I'm gonna vote for Trump? Like, what has to happen? What do you need to see that makes you be like, okay, I'm gonna put all that shit I hate about Trump aside and get some fucking control back in here?
Yeah,
that's how I kind of feel about Dave. Like, how much bullshit do you need to see before you're just like, okay, we need some fucking control?
I just think that you have to know, like, you have to kind of study the context of everything, because even if that situation, someone broke in, they'd be like, well, we're blaming the local cops, or like we're blaming the manufacturer of the locks that were on our door, or something
Right.
like that. It would take
Right.
a lot.
Oh, you mean like
for somebody to zoom all
Seattle's
the way up.
blaming Toyota and Kia? They're suing Toyota and Kia for the cars being too easy to steal,
Exactly.
as opposed to shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So it's like
So
never
double down on retarded.
right, rather than admit fault.
Hey, why Trump is on the Epstein client list but Biden isn't? Is it? Show me the list.
I wish they.
I'm open. I'm
more
open. I'm
crazy than
totally
it
open.
is.
I'm open. I'm open.
I'm also not a huge Trump guy either.
I'm not a huge Trump guy either.
I think he was just.
But
too
the difference
integral.
between manufacturing the injection versus forcing people to take it is huge to me.
Yeah, but he would have been on that same fucking list, dude. The only reason that got him out is he was no longer president. He was Mr. Warp Speed, and the one that put that in.
You think? I don't. Well, we don't know that for sure.
We don't know for sure, so it's all speculation. But I guarantee you,
He says he wouldn't have forced it. He says he wouldn't have forced it.
Easy when you're not in charge.
Sure.
You know, I would have left the rope climbs in alpaca. Well, you weren't there to make the call.
Can you explain alpaca to me?
That's why I brought that one up. Hey, it's like hey, Sevan, you are a victim at stadiums because when you go.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, because when you go to the stadium, it's harder for you to see, right? Because if you sit down, it's just you're a victim of that. So you just
because I'm shorter, it's harder for me to see.
Yeah. So because you're shorter, you just get to stand up at the stadium because you're a victim. So then we just find everybody else, and well, what happens if we're all victims and we all stand up? Then we're right back where we were. Everybody is now worse off for you having to have stood up, as opposed to when you stayed sitting down and nobody else stood up. 99% of everybody could still see the game okay. But yeah, sure, you got fucked, but life's not fair, right?
Right.
And so what all these policies are doing is just basically saying, yeah, this group could stand up. Oh, you guys, okay, this group could stand up too. Okay, this group could stand up. And then it just fucks everybody.
Right.
Is what's happening. That's why they're cutting the fucking the viewing holes in the stalls now.
One rotten apple. Cornholio, Trump facilitated the 49er tickets and did not fire Fauci. He completely facilitated them, and him and Fauci hated each other. I hear you. That's not a deal breaker for me. Trump took a flight with Epstein from Florida to New York. That's it. He's on the flight list. That's it. I mean, all the rich fucking people rolled together. I'm sure you could find photos of me with someone who's killed someone or molested someone or something somewhere. Who's the anti-cop activist that got killed in California and her estate is asking for her murderer not to be jailed? I don't know who that is.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I think you have to just reach a limit to where you're like, okay, I'm going to have to weigh the pros and cons here. Do you think that this teacher is a Democrat or a conservative? Do you think this teacher votes for Biden or for Trump? Watch this. These are kids with on campus at a high school. They go to the school. They're actually students at the school who are talking about abortion.
This is propaganda. What are you going to do? Like,
This is a professor.
Is that what you're going to do next?
Oh, no, sorry. It's anti-trans stuff, supposedly.
Mm.
I don't even know what that means, anti-trans, by the way. Does it mean if you say that being a tranny is a mental disorder, is that anti-trans? Is that so if you say you're if you think anorexia is a sickness, you're anti-anorexia?
This is bullshit. This is violent. You're triggering my students.
She just said, this is violent and you're triggering my students. Now watch what happens next.
Polite,
You're
ferocious,
not. You can't even
cool.
have babies. So you don't even know what that is. You don't even know what this is. Get this out of here, yo.
Oh no, it is abortion stuff. It is abortion stuff.
Away from my door. Get the away from my door.
Let's get out of here.
Wow.
Can't do that.
Okay, so this professor should be held accountable for
Yeah. So typical liberal shit says that it's violent and triggering, and then she's violent and triggered.
Wow.
Dude,
You're harming my
it's
students.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Hey, if you haven't seen my most recent post on my Instagram account, you got to see it. You absolutely fucking have to see it. It will completely arm you for what is and what isn't science.
Oh, I did. I saw that
It
one.
will arm you. No one will ever be like you. You will be armed to the gills. Is it to the gills?
Yeah.
No, I refuse to pee, Ryan. I refuse to pee.
I know. I had to be too.
I refuse to pee.
We're both hanging in here.
Cotton a couple of days ago, spouting a conspiracy theory that the Chinese made this virus up. Don't try to spool up some of whoever was wearing tinfoil hats in your audience. Now, I remember Tom Cotton got attacked by some newspaper. I forget it. Maybe it was the Times. I forget who it was. For talking about the possibility of a lab leak. And we said on the show, we don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. The problem here is the Chinese, and you can talk to Matt Pottinger about this if anybody has any questions, the Chinese haven't been cooperating since December of 2019.
And everything is politics.
So Tom Cotton a couple of days ago.
This guy is basically saying that you're a complete fucking crackpot if you basically question where the virus came from. And then 3 years later, he's saying we were open to where it came from.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. They don't have real opinions. Just whatever the screen says.
Isn't that enough for you? Isn't that just enough for you? Okay, I'm not voting Democrat. They completely lied that their three mouthpieces completely lied to the country nonstop for 2 years. Do you think that anything was worse than what the rules were around the pandemic?
No.
For what's happened any time in my lifetime? I don't. I think it's the worst fucking thing that ever happened in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Worse than the Trade Center bombing by far. Not even close. Other than that, I think that's probably the worst thing that happened. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sevan won't leave and pee because there's too many people watching. Bye-bye.